Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to Let's Go Pulling. Jason Schultz, Charles Posch, Ryan Rusink. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Roos, how are you? Can Roos hear us, you think? Because, I mean, he likes to ignore me, Charles.
He's
but not
frozen
all.
on my screen.
Is he?
He's frozen on my screen, but I know my connection kind of sucks tonight, too.
He'll figure it out. So, got a big show for you tonight, fans. Our first guest is going to be Richard Eberhardt from the, is it Cadiz, Ohio? Am I saying that right, Charles? Cadiz?
Yeah, I think so.
Hang on, guys.
I don't know if you're my Michigan guy, or you know more about Ohio and Michigan than I do. So, but they have 3 big nights of pulling at the Harrison County Fair. So Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then Saturday night. So you can see on the poster here, and Richard will come on here in a little bit. Hey, Roos is back now. So Wednesday night's OSTPA, Thursday nights are NTPA, truck and tractor pull, and then Saturday night, I got my banner running on the bottom. Give me a second here to pull that off of there. It just says truck and tractor pull 6 p.m. So I'll have him talk to us about what's going on Saturday night. And then is it Gilliand? Is that, am I saying that right, Todd? It's Todd Gilliand, the Gilliand Memorial? Bob Gilliand?
Gilliland.
Gilliland, okay. Gilliland Memorial Poll. That is this Saturday as well. I'll put that poster up on the screen. And this is your hometown, Roos?
Yes, sir.
You are
born and raised.
Fremont, Michigan. Yep. I didn't know.
Bob Gilliland's company used to work very closely with ours, with my family.
Nice. I had no idea.
We used to haul a lot of apples from Gerber's over to our fruit storage.
Okay, there's Richard. There's Richard Eberhardt. And then we got then we're going to talk to Paul Luity about the Shopiere days in Wisconsin this Saturday. They're having a Badger State pull on Saturday night. We just had him on the Badger State show a few minutes ago, him and Trip Downing. And then we're going to talk to Chris Schreier from Tomah, the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. Start Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Chris will come on, and then we'll recap our weekend where we all were and then where everybody's going this weekend. I know Roos is going to Mountain City. I'm going to Manila, Iowa, and Tomah, and St. Louis, Missouri for work. It's going to be a busy week. Charles is going drag racing, so it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time for everybody. So I want to know where you went this past weekend, what you liked. Type that into the comments, please, for us. We'll put those comments up there on the screen. Waiting for Richard's internet to come swirling on. He's got, what do you call that, Charles? The circle of death?
Yeah. It's a familiar sight at my job every day.
Adam Wilson's checking in, the king of YouTube, social media in general. He's doing an awesome job for pulling Built Diesel Mafia. Follow him on everything. That's cool. Russ Dostal is checking in from warm Pierce, Nebraska. Man, we need rain bad, you guys. It is not even funny. Ken Summers checking in. Howdy, boys, down there from Kansas City. Buckner, Missouri. Ron Brinkman's watching.
Ron's another Fremont boy.
Yes,
another Fremont boy right there.
Another Fremont boy?
Yeah.
Makes the best maple syrup in all of West Michigan.
I've got some in the cabinet myself.
I love it. Colin Burkholtz got 2 seconds this past weekend with the Silver Series in Badger State up in Mackville. And then he lives like 300 feet from Tomah, you guys. And he, I don't want to jinx it, but they always do well up there. Always do well at Tomah. And it's their hometown pull. I even put them on my postcard this year to use to promote Tomah. So people got that mailed into their houses. So there's Richard.
Colin, if he actually does jinx you, you can probably hit him in the forehead with a tack hammer and
You know it's not going to hurt that much, Roos. So
Nope, that's okay.
Richard, can you hear us okay? Richard's got the circle of death look on his face too, so we'll let him.
The standard face of confusion.
Yes, I'm gonna kick him.
Wait,
from
I
the
saw
studio.
eyes blink.
Oh, you did?
I thought I did.
Oh, okay. I kicked him from the studio so he can get back on. Again, we want to talk with Richard Eberhardt in the first 20 minutes of the show. Again, we got 8 to 8:20 is Richard Eberhardt, Cadiz, Ohio. 8:20 to 8:40, Todd Gilliland. Say it again.
Gilliland.
For the Bob Gilliland Memorial Poll in Fremont, Michigan. And then Paul Ludi's coming on from 8:40 to 9. And then we're going to talk Tomah with Chris Schreier, son of Dave Schreier, and also one of the promoters up there at the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals in Tomah, Wisconsin, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So as we wait for Richard, I'm going to buzz through the comments. Ken Summers, Paris. We went to Paris, Missouri to the Children's Miracle Network poll. I talked to Chad Richardson this morning. Said they had a biggest crowd they've ever had. And that they polled for 4 hours. So he was tickled pink. They made a $250,000 commitment to the Children's Miracle Network poll, or to that hospital, is what he had told me. So, but I didn't write it down, so don't quote me. How about that? So, somebody's watching. I'm sorry, Charles.
Well done, if true.
United Pullers of Carolinas had their first poll this year, past weekend at Lakeview Motor Speedway in South Carolina. Somebody's watching one of the Facebook groups. So I'm not 100% sure who that is. Brad Sturgeon, a young and upcoming social engineer, digital creator, doing a good job. Sturgeon photography and pulling videos. Really covers a lot of stuff in his neck of the woods, Kentucky, Tennessee. I call it the Southeast. Bradley Bloodoff's checking in from Hay up north, up there in Canada. He's a driver for the Prairie Rat and the JetBlue. He helps out with Larry Hillworth and his team up there. Richard, can you hear us? Richard Eberhardt, can you hear us, buddy? I can see his face on my screen, on the green room. Can you see him in the bottom, Charles?
I do down in the green room, but public screen is just black.
I'm gonna leave it up for a second, let him go. But he's at the fairgrounds right now, or he was last year. They're having, as you can see on the screen, they're having their motocross tonight, and then they got four-wheelers tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night's OSTPA, Ohio State Tractor Pulling Association, Truck and Tractor Pull, 7 p.m. This Wednesday, and then Thursday nights are NTPA. That'd be Region 2, right, Charles?
Yes.
Okay.
Region 2, and depending on the class, might be Region 2 Southeast, I think, where they're at.
Okay. There's Richard. He's moving. Don't move. Move, Richard. Richard, can you hear us now? Richard?
Now I caught you.
Okay, good. We don't want to jinx you. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Good. We just been talking about your poster the best we can. So are you at the fairgrounds right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our fair's already running, and it's been a wonderful day.
Yeah, I remember last year you took us outside and you actually showed the motocross, but I don't want you to move. We actually have you on right now. So
right. And the motocross is running again. You can probably hear them in the background.
How is the weather for you guys? Are you as dry in Ohio? Are you short of rain like we are, like in Wisconsin where I live, and Ryan's in Iowa, and Charles is in Michigan?
We were for about 6 weeks. Last week it started raining, of course, just before fair, and they're talking about 30% chance after 9 o'clock tonight again.
Okay. Yeah, you always want rain unless it's your event, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. We have in Richland Center, Wisconsin, we were known as the rain makers for a long time, Richard, so we just gave up on it. We felt that was God's way of saying we don't want you to promote events anymore in your hometown. So
right.
After 5 years in a row of getting rained out, we said enough is enough. And then COVID happened, so that was kind of the nail in the coffin for all of us. So, well, Richard, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Charles Post is with us, Ryan Rusink. We're talking about the Harrison County Fair. Again, it started already. You have 3 nights of truck and tractor pulling. I'll rattle them off, and then you can kind of break it down a little bit for us. But if anybody has any questions, or if you're going to any one of these nights, please type it into the comments so we can let Richard know. Wednesday night, your OSTPA poll starting at 7 p.m. Thursday night, your NTPA poll starting at 7 p.m. And then Friday night, I think you have a demo derby. And then Saturday night is just says truck and tractor pull at 6 p.m. So if I remember last year, you kind of had a bunch of different trucks and tractor clubs or classes. I think you pull in one of those classes on Saturday night, if I remember.
Yeah. We also pull Thursday night NTPA, plus Saturday night of Power Pulling Productions.
Awesome.
So what class do you pull in?
We're a super stock 4-wheel drive gas truck.
Okay. So 530 and
No, actually here, our super stocks, we're limited to 410 cubic inch. But we buzz those little critters over 10 and 4 barrels of carburation natural, and you'll make 1,100 horse out of them. They're pretty sophisticated little motors.
I like that a lot.
4 barrels of fury, and you guys can change valve springs like nobody's business. Huh?
Oh boy. Yeah, you after every night you pull the top off and you better go through things.
We got a couple of guys like that out our way who run the pro stock gas class, and they turn 5-digit RPMs, and yeah, those guys, you can tie one hand behind their back, they'll figure out how to change a valve spring.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Richard, is it like one night any bigger than another, like the crowd wise? I mean, it's cool that you have NTPA, you have the OSTPA, and you have all the different things like that. Kudos to you guys for having 3 nights of pulling. That's awesome.
Yeah, each night is about the same crowd wise,
Okay.
but this is such a big pulling country around here. In 3 nights, I can't get every class of everybody that pulls here local.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
I mean, there is so many classes, so many pullers within 3 county area that it is amazing. So we also do a fall show for a cancer benefit back in October. So we'll do a real long day then and try to get 7 to 9 classes of guys that we can't get in on the fair.
You know, I'm glad you touched on that local thing, Richard, because Ryan, he'll ask you this question here in a little bit, like, you know, what's the success to your event and stuff like that. But to have a class for all your local pullers, because we all like to have that hometown pull. Do you know what I mean? And for you guys to have that many pullers, the support has to be strong. Just the family and friends that want to come see them alone, that helps a lot with attendance. So. Oh
yes, yeah, and that's the goal. You want those kind of classes, especially when they're really power classes, because they bring carloads with them.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Again, if you're just joining us live on Let's Grill Pulling, Jason, Charles, and Ryan talking to Richard Eberhardt, the promoter out there at the Harrison County Fair. They have 3 nights of pulling this week, you guys. Wednesday night, they got OSTPA, which is Ohio State Tractor Pullers at 7 o'clock. Do you know what classes off the top of your head? I hate to do this to you, Richard. But
yeah, that's fine. I actually prepared and wrote them down.
Yay!
So OSTPA, 2-wheel drives, full modified 2-wheel drives, pro stock semis, super stock diesel 4-wheel drives, and then we throw at the end a fair class of an unlimited farm tractor. Those guys even, and they're a local crowd, but there is somebody within a county of us in every one of those classes.
That is awesome. Now, are you able to stop those big tractors? I've seen some places where they're starting to disc up and actually chisel like the last 100 feet of the track to stop the big tractors, Richard.
Yeah, we got a lot of heavy clay in the track. So there's enough weight on the sled, and we use Kraus sled, and he has no trouble stopping them.
That's awesome.
But I mean, bad enough. The pro stock semis, you got to throw a few weights on the pan.
Yeah, that's good. So Thursday night, then we come back with NTPA. I'm assuming that's Region 2. Region 2,
and then that's our classic super stock tractors.
Okay.
Super stock 4-wheel drives like that we run. 3.0 diesel 4-wheel drives, and then the limited light super stock tractors.
The light limiteds?
Yes.
That should draw big numbers as well as the 3.0 trucks in Ohio, I would guess.
Yeah, and we've got a neighboring county, or they're up a little ways. A fire department is doing a fundraiser, so they're running basically the same schedule on Friday night. So pretty much all of our Thursday night will be within 50 miles on Friday night.
Wow. That is awesome.
So that should get, and that was mainly trying to work together to get enough limited lights here to do a good show.
Yep. That's important. That's important. And Friday night's demo derby. Says old school motorsports demo derby. Kind of give us the 30-second rendition of that.
Well, many years ago when I was young, all of us ran together. Now, a couple of these guys that were back in the day decided to get out and start a new club. And so it's just old farts that put it together and watch all these young boys run.
Well said. That's our language. You speak our language here. I like that. So, Bowden Detter says there should. I think I'm saying his name right. There should be quite a few 3.0 trucks. I think
Yes,
absolutely.
We usually have a really nice turnout 3.0s. In the same way, lots of guys real close to us. I mean, there's so many within a county around. Yeah, but they do a very, very nice show. And probably have 15, 18 of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we had Denver Getchie on last weekend for Wasion, Ohio. How far are you guys from Wasion? Because it looked like they had a hell of a pull last weekend too.
Yeah, Wasion's out a little ways. Thinking about 3 hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
But not bad. And most of these guys that'll be here were at Wasion last week.
Okay, good. I know Adam Wilson was out there. I saw a bunch of his stuff. Tim Wolf was out there. I was just trying to keep up with social media a little bit with everybody, so it's fun to see that. And then let's go through the classes for Saturday night then.
Saturday, actually, we have a all day. We start Saturday morning with farm stocks.
Wow.
So we basically do 2 pulls on Saturday. Saturday morning, we'll start 4,500s, do 45s, 55s, 75s, 95s, 11.5s, 12.5, all farm stock. Now, this year, we've added a little extra. We've actually got our local vocational school, young fellow there. He's the instructor, and his thing has got to where he's got a tractor of his own. He's got boys that have been in the vocational school long enough where they have built some tractors, and they kind of put a little sanctioning thing together, and they run a 12.5, 12 mile an hour, 3,000 RPM class.
Okay.
So it's just a little kick for the, it's nice. And they've got a pretty good crowd following them. 11, 12 tractors last time I seen them.
Wow.
And then we'll move into Saturday evening, power pulling productions. And that's normally who we run the most of our season with.
Okay.
And we'll run super stock trucks, pro modified trucks. It's kind of like a run what you run class. So you'll have super stock diesel, blower trucks, 2-wheel drives, 3.0s, 2.6. Anybody that wants to put a hit cheap, they'll come and play. Then run a limited pro super farm tractor. We do a combination. They do, I believe, hitch and weight change between the 2 classes and put them all together. And then the 7,700-pound classic super stock tractors. And then we've brought in a 466 hot farm tractor, another local thing that's got going. And we've got a local fellow that's on Fairboard, him and his boy, and they're right now tied 3 ways first place in their points. So it'll prove a pretty good deal on Saturday night. See who makes the run.
How early into the season are you guys, Richard? How many hooks do you guys have under the belt for points?
Super stock for me, we've only got 1. We were last weekend in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, but that's our most of meat of ours is August. They try to kill us in August. We're out many days in a row in 3 states.
Nice. That's funny that you say Waynesburg, because I was up in Hutchinson, Minnesota with Colin Ross, and I posted a picture of triple bypass on the NTPA Facebook page, and he goes, "You're in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania?" And I said, "No, I'm in Hutchinson, Minnesota. No, Colin's here." I said, "No, I'm pretty familiar with triple bypass. That's kind of one of my favorite tractors." So unless they, and then right away I thought, well, maybe they did a double up for Lily finally, because Ryan's always picking on her about getting her own diesel super stock. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah. Because like I said, they had some pro or modified tractors, and I didn't catch all. We were early in the hook, so it was one of them deals where you can get out of there and get to a steak supper all on the same night and be all right.
Yep. Power Pole, is that the one that Richard Love bought?
No, that's Full Pull Productions is theirs. Power Pulling is Bob Blank over in the same neck as Richard Love.
Yeah,
but
man, pulling is so strong. I mean, it's strong in the Midwest too, but man, I feel like you guys, Ryan, Charles left us. I'm not sure if you got bad internet, but we truly need to have a battle of the best pulling states and really get people going and get guys like Richard on here to talk about Ohio and go for it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So as long as nobody got too butt hurt, we could have a good time with it. So
there will be butt hurt, I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah.
In that 3 days, we'll probably go 200, 220 hooks.
Nice.
That's awesome, Richard. That is awesome. And then the crowds, I know I saw pictures from last year. They're big. Ryan, we got about a minute. We got about a minute left with Richard. Can you ask your promoter question? I love that one that you do.
I have two questions. One, how in the hell do you get 3 nights of huge crowds at a county fair? That never happens.
Around here, it's mostly, if it's not noise, smoke, they don't come. But you take and throw a pulling sled out there and you pack the place. You just try to learn what the crowd wants, ask them a lot, and, you go with your strong point.
Fair enough. Question number 2. If you could take anything past or present, any pulling vehicle ever, and go pulling with it, steal the keys, go pulling for a weekend and not have to pay for it if you wreck it, what are you taking and where are you pulling it and why?
I'm still, last year you asked that, and I'm still the same way, man. Them mini rods they tricked my trigger. I something that wild, and to have that sitting between your legs, that would be a thrill of a lifetime.
So where would you pull it and which mini rod?
Oh, I'm kind of favored of the Splinter. That's a pretty nice little ride.
All right.
And then
where?
Probably would be the final at the end out at the racetrack. I think would probably be the one to go.
Nice.
Fair enough.
I love it. I love it. Well, Richard, good luck this week. We know you're super busy. Thank you for coming on again. Again, Wednesday night, OSTPA, 7 p.m. Thursday night, NTPA. Saturday, all freaking day long. They're pulling in Cadiz, Ohio at the Harrison County Fair. Have a great night, Richard.
Hey, thank you, guys.
See you, bud.
Okay. Now, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say his name. You guys have been trying to teach
Dude,
me
we even coached you like twice.
No, and I haven't drank since May 12th. So, I mean,
I know. Maybe you need to start.
I need to.
Gilliland.
They tried this past weekend up in Hutchinson, Ryan. They were.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yep. So,
Todd,
how are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. Gilliland. How do I say it?
Glad to be on. Glad to be talking to you guys. Charles, good to see you.
Is Charles on mute?
I don't know. Charles, can we hear you, buddy?
I can see him.
His lips are moving. This is Charles. He's a professional tractor pull announcer. He's on our show on Monday nights. Every Monday night, we have the great Charles.
Piece of crap soundboard. Sorry.
Oh, Charles, Ryan, take over, buddy.
How's the track looking?
Well, tonight we were up there. We dropped the chisel in it. Wednesday morning, we're going to put about 10,000 gallons of water into it. Then we're going to chisel it again. Then we're going to close it up. I don't see much rain coming. Western Michigan has been dry, so we're gonna pour it to it and just let it set. We've got 2-inch water lines the length of the track, so the night of the pull we can pour it to it if we have to. But everything's looking good. We got under control and we're dying to get started.
Man, you got a heck of a lineup. Run us through it. Take us through it.
Oh man, I'm so jacked. As you know, Ryan, we were brought up on the modified tractors with my dad and stuff like that. Fremont loves the pro stock diesel 3.0 trucks. We've got the 2-wheel drives. They're coming back again this year. Super farm tractors, obviously the modifieds, and then this year we wanted to add the minis, and I am just so cracked about these nuts coming to Fremont. And there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of these minis that are based in this Western Michigan. We got the bacon bits, but I kind of noticing him posting up. He's going to Tomah, but I don't know. I hope he turns that rig around, comes to Fremont, and then
that is last time I talked to him, Todd. That is the plan.
Is it? He's going to go there and pull and then turn to come to Fremont. I was going to jack him up, but I thought I better wait a little while first.
No, I told him I was going to kick his ass if he broke it and couldn't come and pull for you.
Well, I put
he said, "No, don't worry, Todd will too."
I put him on my T-shirt and stuff, so I hope he comes in. But I know we got enough around there, and Fremont is going to love those. They're just psycho. They're gonna love that 6,000 horse, that 2,000 pound tractor, and I just can't wait to promote that. And, you know, obviously the modifieds, Fremont was brought up on those. The 4-wheel drive trucks are a huge hit around the super farms. We just can't wait to get them back here again. And everybody is cracked up and ready to go.
Well, Frank Kruger's central on that shirt in 3.0 truck, and he's another local guy too for up your way.
Yeah, Kruger's my boy. I made him my poster child, and between him and Jake Graves, we kind of work them together and like that. They had a hell of a class last year, and the crowd just went stupid. You know, it was a super close run, and then Kruger just comes there and blows it out the gate. And same thing with the 2-wheel drive, the Buckeye Hauler, I think it was. Everybody laid down a great run, and all of a sudden that guy just knocks it out to 300 and some odd feet, and the place burned after that. So it was nuts. Can't wait.
How long have you been waiting to say that somebody made a 310-foot pass in the town of Fremont, Michigan?
I told the crowd, you know, Fremont is known. It's got the hallowed ground. You know, we got a 250, 260-foot track inside that arena, and then our people built that huge track. And I said, you know, never one time have we ever gone over 300 foot in Fremont. And when Tim Fortin told me we had to have X amount of room because we needed a 340-foot track, I was like dumbfounded. I don't even know if my tractor would run 340 foot. But I tell you what the first one knocked it out the end, and they started building that road, and we were out there 340, and it was just crazy. I said, well, obviously, you know, 340 is the new 300, and
it is.
And I was able to explain that to him, how it worked and stuff, and it was just the greatest show ever. I could not believe it. Just dumbfounded by the new technology, the tractors, the speed and the power. It's just, I'm like a kid on crack. You know, it's crazy out there. You know.
It's fun, Todd. I was up in Canada a couple weeks ago, and they talked about getting their first speed sled. And I'm like, what is a speed sled? And they're like, you don't know what a speed sled is? I'm like, that's all that I know. And they're talking about their old stone boats and different things like that. So it's funny when you were telling that story, that made me kick that up. Again, we're talking June 24th, this Saturday, 7 p.m. Up in Fremont, Michigan, the home of Ryan Roos-Sink and Roos-Sink Apple Orchards, right? Am I saying that right, Roos?
Yep.
Okay. It's at the Newaygo County Fairgrounds. Pro stock diesel 3.0 trucks, we call those. 2-wheel drives, super farm tractors, mods, and the minis. People are still talking about the minis after the Pullers Championships down in Nashville, Illinois, Todd. Is this the first time you've had the minis up at your event?
This is the very first time. When I was telling the local newspaper guy that we were going to have the minis there, and he remembered back when my dad first started the tractor pulls in Fremont, there was like 100 minis, but they all had motorcycle engines and snowmobile engines and stuff like that. And it was like watching farm stocks. You know, the paint was peeling off the walls by the time we were finally done with the 100th tractor. But it was good because all the local guys got out. Everybody got to go out there and run. I mean, everybody that day was a tractor puller, so it was cool. But I'm trying to tell these people what the difference is. I said, these guys are, you know, they're 6,000 horsepower. They're 2,020 pounds, you know, and they go out there and they'll lay it on its side and put the thing right on the roll bar sideways and crazy like that. So everybody hasn't quite figured out what we got going on, but what a set of ground pounders we got coming here. If I was ever to get back into pulling, it would definitely be a mini mod, and it would be so sick.
Has that thought crossed your mind? I know you've got a need for speed.
Oh,
I know you go to Silver Lake to exercise that demon.
Yeah, it's funny because you say that. Tonight I just put sniper fuel injection on my big truck, and I took it down the driveway and cracked it a few times, getting that sniper to learn how the thing runs. And whenever I talk to old Muffy Jim Martell, it's like, find me a nice mini. I still got the original motor that came out of the Suspicion of Ignorance, the old 427. I said, it's not going to run with guys like Bacon Bits and the Theobalds and the Slaws and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, it'll take and make me stand up and be ready to run again. So I don't know. I'm still looking for a mini to do something like that. But right now, Silver Lake and my hot rod and the old Evinrude, we called it, in that Blazer and stuff like that is doing the trick for us. But tractor pulling is in my blood, and I just cannot wait to get here Saturday and go back at it again.
So Ryan, what I heard was every time we see a classified ad for a roller, we need to send him a message.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what I was thinking.
He knows,
Now,
but he knows.
If I'm not mistaken, you already do have Dad's tractor back, at least the first one, right? The Farm
Yes,
All?
sir. Last year I bought the Farm All 400 back, and it had been up to Silver Lake. It was grading the sand drag track up there, and you know, before Dad died, he tried to get that back. The guy didn't want money, but he wanted a tractor to trade. And we're truckers. We don't know anything about tractors and didn't know how to fight. We'll pay you for it. Well, then Hank Ball, their old arch rival in the Coyote, he bought it, and he called me. He says, I got your tractor back. I'm going to restore it, and I want to bring it to your dad. Well, sadly enough, Dad passed, and he didn't get it there in time. But Hank called me not too long after the funeral. He said, I want you to have this tractor. And Dad had bought a Farm All HTA or something. It's one of 2 or 3 made and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? This little tractor doesn't mean anything to me. I'll trade it to you. Take the Farm All back, and we'll call it good. So I drove down there, traded him tractors, brought it back, drove it around here in the driveway, got used to driving it, chucking the TA, feeling good again. The damn motor blew up. So it sits out in my barn, and I'm building a new motor for it. So it'll probably be out next year, but just like the good old days, you know, when you're out there cranking on, they break. But so hopefully
you've still got a class up there, like with West Michigan or somebody.
Yeah, West Michigan,
where you can hook.
Right, I can go hook with that. I don't know what they call it, but I know that last year I announced it, and they had that mixed class like we used to have back in the good old days. So
West Michigan now has open. They got an open class.
I don't know what they call it, Charles.
It's open tractors, what it is.
Right, open. Okay, yep, got you. Yep. So
is that like what Ben used to run in, or maybe he still does?
Yeah,
Wolfson?
Ben's dad. You know, all the Dave Wolfson and Mr. Whitty ran in it. I mean, there was like 5 or 6 of those Farm Alls in it. Dave Weaver, the Trevere boys. You know, they were all in that class. Yep. So
Ron Brinkman, I remember the Trevere boys very well.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, looking forward to getting that thing going, but it's going to be another year before I get that done.
So tell us about tell us what started. I think I probably know the answer, but why did you bring it back? It was mainly to honor Dad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big part of Dad. You know, we Fremont's always had the fair pole, and Dad's always his has always kind of stood as a cold show, and that's Matt Kemp came to me and said we'd like to start the cold show of your dad's pole, because Dad had the tractors, he had the monster trucks, he had the semis and stuff like that. The fair kicks ass every August. It does a great job, puts on a great show, but we wanted to have something a little more of a cold show. So we started out with kind of a semi truck show that went for 2 years. We decided to table it this year because it calmed down a little bit, and everybody was just really wanting to concentrate on the tractor pulls. We want to build this thing. I don't know if we want to go to 2 days or whatever, but I want to keep building it, adding classes, adding time, and make it compete with the Tomah and stuff like that. And that would have just made Dad roll over. I mean, that was his gig, and that's kind of how we're going to try to build it.
Awesome.
We're just so excited. We got a lot of it. We got a lot of sponsors. Fremont is just stupid about tractor pulls. If you look at Bob's old pictures and stuff, the stands are bending in the middle, loaded with people. And last year we brought them in, and we're going to give them another great show this year. And we just want to keep building it and making it bigger and bigger.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Fremont, the town as businesses, they've shown up big.
Yep.
Give them their due. Let's hear some names.
Well, we got the Derspeets. We've got a lot of the Nebor Electrics. We have the other guys, the Freedom and Ford and Brandt Electric, and we have Newego Plumbing is jumping in bigger than crap, and there's just tons of them stepping up, and kudos to these people because they get banged by the fair every day. I mean, there's 7 days of fair, so they have to decide whether it's better to sponsor the lamb show or the cow show or the horse show and stuff like that, or pour all their money into the tractor pull. And now we're hitting them for monster trucks. We had a very successful monster truck in the 1st of June, and that just brought the place to the ground. So, I mean, these people are always banging against their money. And I can't even begin to list, all of in our company, MPH sponsored it for a big deal. So they're just like handing out their money. They want to do it and they want to get their name in on it. And like I said, this year we're going to cook for the sponsors. We're going to cook for all the pullers and their families. So we're hoping they'll show up, and I just want to keep building it and getting it bigger and give us something to be proud about. But like I say, there's no better crowd than Fremont.
That is a fact. And
yeah.
I will argue with anybody on that.
Exactly. And I told, when I used to bring the mud runners to town, I told them this will be the only place where you hear the crowd over top of your wide open motor. And it never fails. I mean, they are just crazy about what goes on here. And it makes me, when I'm announcing, it just brings tears to my eyes that this crowd just rock and rolls the way it does.
Okay. Look at that. Jason, leave that shot up there for a second. Okay, for those of you who have no idea where Fremont, Michigan is, that doesn't matter. The town is a town of like 5,000 or 6,000 people, or at least it was when I moved away from Fremont.
Still is.
That is what our fair pull looked like every single year. Standing room only. From the bottom to the top, there was never anywhere to sit. You had to get there early. We always did. I was always there by, with my family. I would drag them there early so that we could get seats. And that crowd never disappoints, and it always comes out. So pound for pound, I'll put Fremont's crowd up against anywhere that we can go pulling, anywhere.
I agree.
And I think Charles has been.
I'm going to try to take them everywhere we go pulling. And
well, I get excited when you say, when I got excited, you said the crowd's energetic and you can hear them over the noise of the motors. Yeah. That is the most fun because everybody loves a big crowd, but when it's a fun crowd too, and the buzz, it just creates something for the pullers, and the pullers might try a little bit harder, and it just creates a good buzz.
They're into it there. I've did the fair out there for years, and if you kind of make fun of somebody and get a laugh, like the whole place laughs. If somebody does something great, the whole place cheers. It's a special place. They're into it.
Mick brought.
Well, I announce for it, and I try to give them a perspective of being in that seat and feeling when that tractor locks the track and feeling that run and I think I feel like I do a pretty good job of it. And to hear their reaction as I'm telling them, and I get a little excited and I might cuss a little bit, and get wound up. And I want to go knock Lisa Jostock out of her seat, and I want to drive her tractor and stuff like that. So we have a great time, and I feel like they feel that. So I feel like they get that ground pounding feeling, of what I can explain to them what's going on. And that is a great time.
I guarantee you're going to get a text saying over my dead body in the next 5 minutes for Lisa.
Yeah, she threatened to kill me last year when I was trying to boot her out of the seat. But
she might actually do it.
What's this, Todd? What's this Muffy comment from Mick Broughton mean?
What's that?
Mick Broughton says Muffy! Exclamation mark.
Oh, Muffy! That's Jim Martell. Now he's he was the boss hog. He was brought up in our in our clan. we pulled with the Joe Stocks, and Jim was a boss hog, and he still pulls pretty heavy over on the east side of the state.
Yeah.
He's got some, and the kid buys and sells tons of tractor parts, and he's the one that I got looking for a nice mini rod chassis for me.
Cool.
Charles has actually driven one of his mods.
The mod that I drove was one of his.
10-4. I think I saw that. And
Randy,
he just put a new single out, I think, running over there in that, I don't know what the class they call it, but I just saw a picture of it roll out of his garage with a single engine blown.
Brand new wrap from Nick Broughton. They did.
Yep. I saw that.
I haven't had a chance to see it myself yet, but I will here in another week and a half. I'll see it.
Excellent.
Randy Proctor's watching on YouTube. He says, "See you Saturday, Todd."
Yeah, we're jacked. We hope we got a lot of people coming. We got great weather showing, just a slight chance of a shower, but less than 40%. And who cares? Let it rain. I need some rain on the track anyway. Let's watch them in the rain.
Andy Gerbaugh says, "I don't think I've ever heard a promoter more excited about having an event. Job well done, Todd."
That's what I told him. I'm like a kid with Skittles, a fat kid with Skittles. I get out there, and I remember the days of Dad and I being there, and it just button heads. And when I'm out there talking, I'm racing every guy in that track, even though I don't have a tractor. But I remember the days, and I can't wait to get out there again. And it just flows. I just open my mouth and it comes out.
Love it. Roos, time for your questions.
I'm going to skip the promoter question.
I think you covered that pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. But Todd, if you could steal the keys to anything, past or present, and that includes your old rides, and you could go pulling with them anywhere today or in history, and you didn't have to pay for it and rebuild it and fix it if you wreck it, what would you take pulling, and where would you go, and why?
I'm going to take a knockout Dusty Price, and I want his mini mod, and I want to go for a ride. and I'm telling you, on Saturday, I'm bringing my suit and my helmet, and if he lets me do it, I'll hand over the microphone and take that thing for a ride. I just, you want to see tractors. You
want to see a kid clam up. Hand him a mic.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, with that, you do know he changed the name of the tractor this year, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
It's now called Blackmail, so you know what you got to do.
Blackmail, yeah, right. I know. But I put bacon bits on my T-shirt, so he's going to be bacon bits. So now I'm going to rub his nose, and that's why I'm hoping that he shows up. But great guy. He took my granddaughter at Hudsonville and pulled her out of the crowd and talked to her. He had no idea who she was. And I had a picture of her with him getting his autograph. And so I texted him after that, told him who I was. And my background said, I'm going to ride your tractor someday. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to get a ride on that thing.
Where would you drive it? Fremont, I presume?
Oh, I'd drive it anywhere. I don't care where. I'd drive it anywhere. I'm
driving up and down your driveway.
Another tractor. I'll be happy when I'm riding that Farm All 400, but to have a couple blown big block Chevys or 3 of them underneath me, that would be another dream come true.
Have you noticed the anger as well? He's going to knock everybody out, then steal their vehicle.
Yes.
I'm not going to knock him out. I'll give him the microphone. I want to keep him
alive so I know how to start it. That'd be my thing. I'm just being honest with you. But whatever. Todd, you seem like you could figure it out. So
I'll get that.
And if not, I actually have a video of Dusty starting it. So I'll bet we can figure out between the two of us, we can figure out where the right buttons are.
I'll have that thing running in 30 seconds. It wouldn't matter.
Awesome. Well, Todd, thank you for coming on tonight. Good luck this weekend, and we love your passion for the sport, buddy.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing you guys and watching your show. It's been great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Todd. I promise, Todd, I will come and shoot the show one year. I promise.
You better. And I'm going to give your dad a T-shirt to take back to Iowa or wherever the hell it is you're at.
Hey, Todd, Ryan wears a schmedium.
A schmedium?
A schmedium, yep.
Yeah.
A schmedium.
If it's made by Omar the tent maker, yes, a schmedium.
Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks for coming on, Todd.
I love that guy. He's a hoot. That is good stuff.
He would be a great interview to talk history.
Oh, yeah.
Because those guys pulled Region 2 I don't know that they ever did much on. They never chased Grand National points, but
not really.
Suspicion of
they
it
appeared at Bowling Green or whatever here and there, but
yeah.
Paul,
But
can you hear us?
That would be fun.
Yes, I would.
Am I on?
Paul, are you here, buddy?
I'm here.
Yep. I got up on the screen. Shopiere Days, June 24th. What's going on, Paul? Talk to us about it. You got Badger State on Saturday, and I know you got PI on Friday night. What else do you have on Friday night, bud?
So Friday night we have South Central Wisconsin Stretch Bowlers, PI Motorsports Super Farm, and Badger Trucks Friday night.
Gotcha.
And then Saturday night, I believe in the Badger lineup, we have Light Limited Boys, Hot Farms, Super Farms, and the Pro Stock Trucks.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you've never had a Badger State show in Shopiere before, have you?
No, we never have. We never have. Kind of been something we've been working towards over the course of the years, getting the grounds, getting enough room to make this happen and getting the track. I think we all kind of decided that we wanted to make sure that we had a track that was going to be something to be proud of if the boys came down. So
understood. What would be for Badger State fans in Wisconsin, and for those of you in Northern Illinois and Wisconsin, you understand how strong Badger State is. Roos knows for sure, and Charles has seen him, and Cody's seen him at Gordyville and stuff like that. I'm always going to call it Gordyville, Charles. Sorry. I know it's a Midwest Winter Nationals, but it's always going to be Gordyville to me. What would you say is the closest Badger State poll that maybe fans have seen before?
Closest to here?
Yeah.
I would say most people that are going to go to a Badger State hook from our area are going to go to Jefferson, Helenville. Last year, or I think his last 2 years, last year or two, I think has been Edgerton. Okay. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people local are really happy that they don't have to travel real far to see a Badger State show, and it's a free show. That's just one thing we've always been. It's hard to accomplish a free show, but it's pretty neat when you don't have to charge admission, and anybody and everybody is more than welcome. So,
do you guys take donations, Paul, or is it just legit, just free?
Well, we do take donations. There's some people that donate. We do corporate sponsors. We kind of took a little bit of a feather out of Clint's hat. A buddy of mine that's not too far away from me, actually working on the track right now, he kind of came up with the idea of selling some track booths. So for Friday night, Saturday night, we have a band out here, a good band, and we're actually selling part of the basically 150 to 300 foot lineup to have a booth for the whole weekend for Friday night and Saturday night. Plus you have the band right in front of you. So we're taking a little bit out of Clint's page there. But it's helped a ton. So
your VIP seating areas, that's what you're referring to for people that haven't been to the Midwest Winter Nationals, the chair seating right next to the track. What's a fancy word for that, Charles? I think VIP probably, or
the box seating.
Box seating.
Yes. And I tell you what, there's more people that are excited about that than I would have ever thought. To have a place to call their own for the whole weekend, to be in a good spot in the track, be able to leave their stuff there. And that was kind of the same for me when the first time I went to Gordyville, was have a place that you call your own, that you can leave your coat there, your sweatshirt there, go back, leave your beer there. It'll be there when you come back. So
you hope
not fight over
your
bleachers
beer's there.
Yeah.
For those of you that may not know Paul Ludy, if you guys remember when we named that John Deere Super Farm tractor 2 years ago now on our show, Tripp and Josh and Paul are all in on the homegrown Super Farm together, and it was actually named homegrown that night on the show, and then they took it down to the Midwest Winter Nationals, I think, that following week. I think we named it on Monday night, and they took it to Shipshewana that following weekend then. So that's the Paul Ludy that we're talking to. Shopiere is super easy to get to right off interstate, basically, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. I think as a crow flies, we're probably not much more than 2 miles off I-90. Pretty easy to get to. We got a lot of parking. It's a great little place. It's taken us quite a while to kind of build up the festival to be able to do the tractor pulls that we have now. But we work with a lot of great people. great township around here that allows us to do it. So, and a track that's been here for a very, very long time. This thing had the stone boats going down it back in the 70s. So
like Jimmy Lukey type stuff, or
Jimmy's been here before, but the stone boat where if you didn't like your neighbor, you stood on the boat a little sooner than everybody else. You sat on the sideline drinking a beer and jumped on a little quicker. Yeah.
Come on, Paul. That's not how that works.
So this track's been here a long time, and we've worked a lot. We've worked a lot of years to try to improve, to where we finally have an announcer's tower that towers above everything else, and we have a big, wide, long track, good dirt. So it's taken a while to get there, but we're finally to that point.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. If anybody has questions for Paul, please type them into the comments. Cody, Charles, Roos, if you guys have anything, let me know.
And Jason, I guess one thing that how I got involved with this whole thing too.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, and a friend of ours that just passed away was in charge of the tractor pull, and I came up here wanting to give him a hand at 16.
Wow.
And I've been involved with it. I'm 37. I've been involved with it for 20 years.
Man, is anybody else still been around that long with you?
Yes. There's people that have been around through the whole thing. But at that point in time, we only did a spectator truck and tractor pull on Saturday afternoon for about 4 or 5 hours. It was probably one of the notorious brush pulls that there wasn't rules. There wasn't much of anything. There wasn't much for track maintenance back then. So we've come a long ways from those days, but
well, that's all right.
But I kind of roll my eyes every now and then when I think I've been involved with for 20 years, and I'm 37 going, oh boy, I've been involved this longer than I probably ever thought I would be. So
it's amazing how fast it goes. Charles, before we went live tonight, said, I can't believe we're 5 weeks into the season. Is that what you said, Charles?
Yeah, I'm 5 weeks into my outdoor season already.
Awesome. Yeah. Bruce, I'd like you to ask Paul Ludi your questions, buddy.
All right, Paul. So
are these tough ones, Ryan?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Yeah, there's no math involved, Paul. You don't have to.
No. Okay. All right. I don't got to get calculator out.
Yeah.
No, but I want to know how you guys make a show that's free. I mean, I know a little bit about what organizations charge for a show, and it ain't cheap. And it's not like, money just grows on trees unless you grow apples. But how do you do that? I mean, how do you get the community involved in it like that?
So I probably can't personally speak of how the festival was back when I was a kid. Through the 80s, 90s, I don't remember enough through those days to actually give you the true history of it. Mm-hmm. But when I got involved, I remember that everybody told me, we're not charging admission. That's not the way this has always been. This is a community festival. It's free for everybody. That's the way they want it to be, which makes it very challenging if you want to expand and do anything.
Yep.
So we rely very heavily on sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors that are every year through and through awesome. And they have the same idea, same view. They love that it's a community event. It's free for everybody. I think this year we sold probably close to $20,000 worth of basically a VIP booth along the side of the track, $15,000 to $20,000. That stuff like that helps a lot. But it is challenging. And we have our event is 3 days long. Tractor pull Friday night, tractor pull Saturday night. We have a big fireworks session that we do Sunday night. There's a carnival all weekend, parade on Sunday. But I will say that the volunteers that we have are awesome. We have a ton of people that are all from the community or surrounding areas that do a ton of work for it. None of us really know why we do it. It's just kind of like once you get involved, you get hooked and you can't really leave, or nobody lets you leave, maybe. But it is a challenge. There's a lot of us that would love to be able to charge a $15 or $20, $25 admission to come in to watch a Badger State show, but it's just kind of been bred into us that we can't do that. It's supposed to be a weekend to celebrate the 4th of July and our independence, and we gotta do what we can to make it a free event for everybody.
So how many of those VIP spots do you still have left?
Well, it's funny. I had one person last night that told me they wanted a booth, and I told them, well, it's too late to get a banner made. How we do our booths, you get a banner and whatnot. Oh, I don't care about the banner. I just want to support you guys. So they don't even care about their banner. They just want a spot on the track and to write us a check. And that was less than a week before the event. So
do we have any spots left? If somebody here is listening and says, I got 7 people who would be seen in public with me.
Yep, I'll make them a spot. I can't guarantee them all the benefits that everybody else had that started 2 months ago, but I will make them a spot if somebody's willing.
And how do they reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you?
So we have our Facebook page, and then we're a little in transition. We got a website that just came online here, I think, last week. And I wish I could share that with you, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. I'm happy that I could even get tech savvy enough to get on the live feed with you guys tonight. So
we're very proud of you.
Yeah.
Baby steps, Paul. Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps.
Well, good deal.
And then the last question I've got for you. You can take anything pulling. You don't have to pay for it if you wreck it. What are you going to take, and where are you going? And why?
Boy, that's a tough question, because there's so many things that I would love to drive. I feel like the general public is always going to go to Pro Stock World. And I love that. It's great. I would love to sit in the seat of one day. I like a driving class myself too. So that's a hard question for me.
Does anybody else feel like he's stalling?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna say light pro. That's my gut when he said driving class.
Yeah, well, that's my. I guess I've never really thought of that question, Jason. Like, I like a driving class, and not saying anything that, against the pro stock's not a driving class, but I feel like everybody's first opinion is like, oh, I want to drive pro stock. That's just everybody's gut go to. But I would say probably if I had to drive anything anywhere, if someday we could put our tractor in the Broadbent Arena at Louisville, I don't want to go every year, but go 1 year. I guess I don't care what I drive, but if someday we can be in Broadbent, that would be an accomplishment. Don't have to go every year. Don't have to be a repeat, but just at least a one time. I know everybody's talked about that feeling of being down there, going through the tunnel. That would be a neat thing to me.
Absolutely.
When you get to something like that, like Clint's event down there, I pulled down there the first time this year. Ended up sitting pretty good. Lady Luck had it my way, but that to me was a huge accomplishment to go down to Winter Nationals, and I didn't realize that I had to go stand on the podium if I got third place, and I was kind of like, oh shit, what do I do now?
That's what
I don't have a hat
for the top 3, buddy. So
what's that?
That's what a podium is. It's for the top 3. So it's all
well, I know, but I didn't think of that, and I'm like, oh hey, I ended up in the top 3. Oh hey, I have to come over and talk on the podium. Oh.
Charles, did you interview Paul or did Leroy?
I don't remember at this point. It becomes a blur.
Well, Super Farm Shane was probably all over that.
Could have been.
Oh yeah, he was. If I had a couple of beers in me beforehand, you might not got me off the mic, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. So
gotta slam them quick. Well, cool. Well, Paul, thanks for jumping on the Badger State show earlier, and thanks for jumping on Let's Grow Pulling Live. Thanks for trusting us to promote your event on social media, and good luck this week, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Thanks, Paul.
I got Chris Schreier and Doug Borth waiting in the green room. I'm gonna make them wait a little bit because I can.
What's the over under that Paul blushed like 9 shades of crimson when Faith came up and grinned and batted her eyes and gave him his trophy?
Very, very good chance. Very good chance.
Okay, just checking.
Tomah's one of the biggest tractor pulls in the country. We know that, everybody. It's just, we talked about this a lot, destination pull. You don't have to say, Charles always says, you don't even have to say the state. It's just Tomah, Chapel Hill, just words like that. And we're excited to have Chris Schreier on here. And we'll play our video quick, and I'm going to bring Chris and Doug on, and it's Tomah time, baby.
Hey, pulling fans, pound-pounding horsepower returns to Recreation Park June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th for the 48th annual Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. Tomah, Wisconsin welcomes the National Tractor Pullers Association for 3 days of action-packed pulling on 2 tracks, 5 sessions, and 11 classes of high-horsepower Grand National Truck and Tractor Pulling. Tickets and more information available at TomahTractorPull.com. Once again, go to TomahTractorPull.com for all the information you need. June 22nd through the 24th, it's the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals in Recreation Park, Tomah, Wisconsin.
Hello, Chris Schreier. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. How are we doing tonight?
Good. Sorry we kept you up late, but we knew you were going to be working all day anyway, so we weren't too worried about it.
We're still down here getting things ready.
Yeah, that's good. Is Dave around, or is he in the porta potty? Keel.
Dave is not around tonight.
Okay, I'm just checking.
He took all his FaceTime the other day, I guess. When
he did not want to do that, Chris. And I said, you have no choice. You have about 32 seconds to get ready. And I was setting up the live stream on my phone. And here comes Doug rolling in and Chase Richardson's toter. So it was perfect timing. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did that with him.
That was good. He was like, I'm not doing this, Jason. I said, no, you don't understand. You are. And I'm gonna follow you around with my camera until we can find that. Chris, what's the biggest crowd you've ever had in Tomah? Because I want to break it this week. What do you know the number?
Oh, wow. Numbers. You want me to remember numbers? I would say about 65,000. I can't give you an exact number, but that's total all weekend. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get it on.
That's when we used to run 6 sessions too.
Okay.
Instead of the 5.
I about threw up in my mouth a little bit. I don't know if we could beat that, Chris. I'm going to try. We're trying hard, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, again, Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. TomahTractorPull.com, you guys, is the website for everything. We took some pictures yesterday, kind of the calm before the storm. I had never seen the campgrounds empty before. I'd always get there Thursday and then come flying in there, and I always end up parking down the road. And then the campgrounds are a lot of fun in Tomah. So Dave mentioned there was a couple spots left. If you're still interested in a camp spot for Tomah, maybe you can still get off of work or maybe sneak out Thursday and call in sick Friday and head up there. Do tickets come with your camp spots? How does that work, Chris?
Yes. If you go to the website, you can look at our ticket packages. There's a form in there for camping, and we do sell sites with a ticket package, so that can be done. And we do have sites available. So, but people have been calling in and booking up to the event. So
yep. If the crowds in Tomah are anything like the crowds were in Hutchinson, you guys are going to have a phenomenal weekend. Chris, Doug and I were up there this past weekend, and it was. There wasn't a place to sit on Friday night, honest to God. And then Saturday night, I would say it was about 90% full. And they were up against that music festival because Ricky and Julie were pretty worried. They've been up against that Windstock or some music festival the last couple of years. And the weather worked out. It was beautiful Friday night, and Saturday we thought we were going to get rained out, and then it kind of broke up. I know we need rain pretty bad, and people always say it rains at Tomah time, but man, the forecast right now is dry and hot. A lot of Budweiser beer drinking weather for your title sponsor, Chris.
That's what it looks like. Yep. And fortunate for them up there at Hutchinson, it did work out good. The rain came in on Sunday after everything was over, and
actually it started raining at about 11:30 on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yep.
So they got it on Saturday night too.
Yep.
Good.
Ricky likes to take about a 10 or 15 minute intermission, just for food and beer sales and stuff like that. And Saturday night, I went down to Marvin and I showed him the radar, and I said, Marvin, please talk Ricky into not having an intermission tonight so we can get this pull in. And he goes, I'll handle that, Jason. So, and then they pounded it out as fast as they could because there was rain coming. And to Doug's point, we were over at Chase's trailer and a couple of the pullers talking to him, Brian McDonald and them. And as they were loading, Doug goes, it's starting to rain. And it did. They got a pretty good shower overnight and it rained on us on the way home on Sunday. So again, if you're just joining us, Chris Schreier, son of Dave Schreier. I got to say that. You guys, a legendary pulling family. And Tomah, Colin Burkholtz is sitting there licking the screen right now because he loves you so much, Chris. And he's already been on here a little bit. I saw you got Travis Schlaba on the billboard this year with the bone twister. I don't know. Tomah's just special. I live an hour south. It was a hoot. I passed the NTPA scoreboard on the way down from Hutchinson and then passed a couple other pullers. And, to get there and see Mike Connie was already there. And Foster's came rolling in when we were there. I don't know. I think I'm as excited as you are, Chris. I have to be. It's a great week. So,
yeah, it's great to see everybody come back. It's like a family reunion for us, and every year we gain more families. So,
that's
some new ones come in. So, no, we all look forward to it.
I've always wondered, how do you pick the classes for a big super national like this for each session? How do you do it? Does Greg help, or do you guys kind of have a pretty good feel, or?
No, you just throw them all in a hat and pull them out and see what comes up. Honestly, is that how you do things? No.
I think everybody assumes that, but I'm a little organized.
No, we look at, turnout for numbers, who supports the best, what's going on out there, what's going to be the best for the crowd. But, with all the classes we run now, we pretty much run them all.
Yeah.
There's much to choose from outside of what we have. So it's just the hardest part is choosing the schedule based on numbers of what's going to show up and get the same time frame in each session.
Yep. Again, if you're just joining us, Chris Schreier, Tomah, Wisconsin this week, obviously. Monroe County Fairgrounds. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, right? Thursday night? It's noon and 7 every day, right? Or noon
Correct.
On Friday, 7 on Friday night. Keep it simple, I think.
Yep.
How long can people buy tickets on the website, Chris? That was a question I had earlier today.
Hold on, I got to ask that question. Can we buy tickets online yet? Yes. Up until Wednesday.
Up until Wednesday? Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Amanda Stern says, can't wait. Our first time back in 5 years. They're from Northern Illinois, so it's good to see that they're coming up.
Yep.
That's great. Let's see what else.
I'm going to throw something out there on road construction. As you know, everywhere around Wisconsin, it's hot and heavy. Even in the city of Tomah on the state highways. So advise people to come in early because there could be delays no matter which way you're coming in, north, south, east, west. Come in early because, as you know, you'll be standing in line anyway to get in the stands, and you want to get there not right before the show. You want to get there ahead of time. So plan accordingly.
Fair enough. Charles, Roos, Cody, Doug, you guys have any questions for Chris? Anybody out there watching have any questions for Chris?
I think we need to put a wager. How many two-wheelers are we going to have in Tomah? 34 at Farley.
87.
I think the Pro Stock tractor numbers are going to be dumb. I like the biggest we've seen. I think we're going to be 20 plus. That's my gut. I don't know. What do you think, Charles?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. I feel like there's a good buzz going into this event, and the participation numbers are up. The crowds everywhere I go and what I see everywhere else too are up. I feel like this is a year for pulling to kind of have a coming back out party. And Tomah's probably one of the biggest ones to come along here. So, you really got a chance to move the bar.
No, that's kind of our thoughts with the calls we've been getting from pullers and fans and sponsors. Everything's going to be up the way it sounds this year. The entries are a little concerned. A lot of pullers haven't received some of the parts they needed too.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the early pulls, and they're all trying to get them together for Tomah here. Yeah,
we've seen that. We've seen that across all the associations, Chris, because we're all very active on social media. And like I know Screamin' D, they're trying. We follow them. Looked like Kyle got out of Facebook jail today, and he made a post about the Screamin' D and finally getting some parts ready to go back in that. So when we talk about like James Kerr, this is a great comment. I'm glad he did this. He's driving up from Kansas City super early Friday morning. When do we need to arrive to be in the stands at noon? In other words, is the Friday afternoon really full? You're going to have a place to sit, James. Do not worry. You may not get a sit to 320-foot mark, but you're going to have a spot to sit. Chris, did I answer that properly? Or
yes, gates open at 2 hours prior to show, and it's general seating. So yeah, he'll have a place to sit. It's just a matter of really, you get here, the better seat you get, as with anywhere.
Colin Burkholtz quit licking the screen long enough to type in that he's watching on YouTube. I remember the day, and Colin gets up like at 3 in the morning to go to work. This is how excited he is. I remember the days of 60 super farms. I do too. That one year, Chris, it rained, and then you guys went to like 4:15 in the morning. That's when that front end broke on that one. And that's in the last 5 or 6 years, isn't it?
Yes, it was, and it was about 50 degrees that night. Every vendor sold out of sweatshirts because everybody wanted to stick around and watch that show that night. So we got a little trouble with the city on that one. Do not run that late anymore.
Now, who takes those oh shit calls, Trier? Is that you, or does somebody else?
No, that's what Shay's for. She gets to take those calls. That's
okay.
What she,
oh, I'm sorry. Chris is really busy right now. He'll call you back on Monday.
Yeah. I did get personal calls that night. It was surprising. My cell phone did ring that night about 2 o'clock. How long are you guys going to stay at that?
Till it's done.
Till it's done. Yeah.
Amanda Cern says 25 pros, so we'll put the over/under at 25 pros. So
25 pros. Okay.
That'd be awesome.
I'll bet she's under.
We had 10 diesel supers on Friday night at Hutch, and then we had 6 on Saturday night. I love the diesel supers. I was all excited, and as didn't hurt his. And what Roger Peterson had the big flame show. Doug, who else didn't make it back?
Birch made it back, but he burnt a piston.
Yep.
He should be fixed. I saw a post. Esden's got it back together again.
Good.
Yep.
Good. So
got to have a red line fever sighting. Tommy Owens, he won. They won Saturday night up there, and Brandon Simon won Friday night at Hutch. So he's licking the chops. Brett Berg's going to come down and whoop all their asses because he's scheming right now. He is not going to let that happen another weekend in a row because he got the win in Farley. So I love Brett Berg. He just walks around confident and smiles and just kind of stick a microphone in his face. He's like, dang it, Schultz, I don't want to talk on the microphone, but I'll do it for 30 seconds. And it was fun. It was a good time.
You mentioned, Brett, he's going to be in our kids club tent.
Yeah, that's so cool.
The kids, and it sounds he's going to pull them out over there too for them to take pictures at.
And last year, I swear it was 105 at the kids. Chris and Brett was over there in his fire suit, and I was like, man, you're a big deal, Berg. I said, you're in a sweatsuit over there. So let's see here. Somebody's watching. I was in Tomah yesterday and went westbound. 9094 is backed up. If they're coming from the south, I would suggest getting off in Camp Douglas exit and bring 12 and 16 to Tomah or the new Lisbon exit. So
not a bad idea. Yep.
Rudy's checking in from the Netherlands. I think he's here in the States, right? Rudy's here because he was in Maxwell last weekend. I remember Colin being in the winner's circle every year he has competed at Tomah. Yeah, we don't want to jinx it, though. That's the problem, because if I said that, and then Roos earlier said that Colin could hit me with a tack hammer or something like that. I feel like
yes, a tack hammer.
We might need to upgrade that to a framer.
A framer. The Schulte boys are begging you to make the Grand National Super Farms back in Tomah, Chris. So can you put that on your notes for next year?
We'll consider it. Yes, we'll put it in the
Wyatt. You can bribe. They can be bribed. Schulte Performance.
Yeah.
Schulte Express Performance can do it like I don't know, $20,000 donation. Chris, with that.
Bring in a big sponsor with that class. We'll consider it. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's how this works. Oh, that's Terry Benson that made the comment. Okay, cool.
Oh, did you, Terry? Okay.
Terry knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then Colin Burkholtz says Kids Club is the best. Can you kind of talk about the Kids Club a little bit, Chris? Is it Friday afternoon?
That is Friday morning. Friday morning at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Back by the pits, so the kids are right there where everything's happening to. And we have a tent for them to come in and color. We got T-shirts for them, free food, get autographs and cards from the pullers. So they get to actually meet and greet about 4 or 5 pullers. Yeah, and then if they want, they can go in the pits if they want. But each kid accompanied by adult, the adult gets in free to the
pull. It's neat. Last year, I think a couple daycares came in with kids, and it was a good. I bet there was 400 kids there, Chris, last year. I'm just taking a wild guess, but at least.
Yeah, and we expect as big or bigger crowds this year.
Yeah, that's great.
So for somebody who's never been to Tomah, What's the one thing that if anybody's never been that they should look forward to that Tomah has that nobody else has?
Well, besides the hospitality in this area, it's been really good. But our pits are open. I don't know how many other ones are really open to everybody. That's open. You don't pay until you get into the stands. We do have some arts and crafts flea market type thing, vendors out in front that they can enjoy and come and see. Food is phenomenal on the grounds, but just the seating, every seat in the stands is best seat in the house. You can't beat that.
When everybody talks about like this atmosphere in Tomah, you know, in Bowling Green and stuff, and like the big name pulls in, it's one of those like if you've never been, you just want to go just because of the atmosphere that everyone tells me, you know, about it. So
yeah, everybody's having a great time, but it's still family oriented. You know, it's comfortable. You can be in the stands and you gain new friends when you're in the stands. You always want to come back and see them again. And we got people that sit together every year. They look forward to seeing that family reunion too, same as with the pullers.
One thing I think is cool is if you're on the pit side of the grandstand seating, you're in amongst everybody, all the pullers. The guys that aren't pulling are there watching, and they're in with the common folk. You know, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Tomah has a beer band or a band in the beer tent. That's Cody. That's one of the answers right there.
Yeah,
it's a hoot.
Yeah, between both sessions, you know, on Friday and Saturday, there is beer tents right next to the grandstand, and there's a band both afternoons.
And he's not even old enough to be drinking in the beer tent.
Morgan's a pulling connoisseur. You know that. So, the Playing with Fire semi team says from Ryan, Euros. So Euros is what his favorite thing to eat.
That's what it comes for. Good.
If I remember right, Jordan and Misty told me that ice cream with cranberries, is that what it's
cranberry sauce on them at the dinner? Yes.
Yeah. Misty said that's the move.
Yeah.
She said that's the thing. She said win, lose, or draw or rain out, we eat some ice cream up there.
Yep, and we have one of the largest areas here in Wisconsin for cranberry growers.
Mm-hmm.
You know that the northeastern states have it too, but Wisconsin's got quite a few acres of cranberries here. So,
yep,
full support of the event.
Chris, what kind of economic impact does the event have on the city of Tomah and the surrounding area? What kind of an economic? Have you guys ever done a study on that?
Yeah, we do a survey. The DW of La Crosse comes in, helps us with a survey about every 5 years. We do that to keep tabs on our demographics and things like that. And it's been consistent. About $15 million is put in, not to just Tomah, but the surrounding community with the hotels and restaurants and gas stations and the stores, retail stores and that. So just during that week, it puts that much money into this area.
Say that again. That was 15 or 50?
15.
15. Okay.
15. Yep.
Well, just in the 20 minutes we were at Quick Trip yesterday, putting fuel in for Chase before we pulled in. There was 3 haulers in there filling up with fuel.
Yeah, I saw that post. That was pretty cool. And they're a major sponsor of ours, you know, for the Thursday night session and for the whole show. But yeah, great support. Yeah, and just sitting there already.
Let's see here. The camping's we always talk about is a big part of the the party atmosphere. It makes it like a five session like event like this really work. Chris, for people to take vacation time and have a good time. Have you guys always had camping, or is that something you kind of added over the years?
Well, camping we've had for, I bet you 20 years. We used to rent the field across, and we temporarily put power in for the campsites and everything. And about 15 years ago, we bought the field from the local farmer there. We got about 30 acres, maybe more than that, 45 acres, about 600 campsites.
What's the craziest thing that you can say on the show that's happened in the campgrounds?
I haven't been over there that much, but
come on, Schreier, tell us the truth. Tell us the truth.
Well, I can't get anybody in trouble for that. or let people know what I do after the poll's over with either. So, but you know, you see the guys; they're all having a good time. You see the guys with the hot tubs and their own portable bars set up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You took me to that one people on the end last year. We did our live interview on your golf cart, and they said they've been coming. I can't believe how many years. And the people, they had T-shirts made. I mean, it was like a legit family reunion, like a fun family reunion. One you'd actually want to go to. So.
Yeah. There's groups probably of 15 people at a time that just every year they come. And you're right. It's been years and years. Yeah. The campsites or the campground was the best thing we ever did to get the people together and keep them close to the ground.
Bands in the beer tent Friday are Millennial Mayhem and Saturday Entourage. So you're
correct. Thank you.
Shay doing that. Robert Miner's checking in from Nebraska. He's a first timer ever coming to Tomah. What do you have for food and where's a good place to sit? I'm coming from Niobrara, Nebraska. Did I say that right, Roos or Cody? Niobrara?
Theoretically.
Yep.
Best food. Everything. That's tough. We got everything for food. So he's got to try just about everything that's on the Midway. Best place to sit, well, depends on who you are, but you know, everybody wants to sit at 300-foot mark.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter which side of the track you're on. So
Morgan Schulte mentioned that you do have two grandstands with canopies over the top. Not many places have that canopy, and that really makes a huge difference if you have kiddos and different things like that, especially because that old sun can be warm those afternoon sessions.
Yes. Yep.
Robert, go back and listen to this when it comes up tomorrow as a podcast. Doug gave some pretty good advice there too about where to sit.
Colin Burkholt says the mini donuts; those are his favorite. He doesn't eat those until after he scales the tractor, though. I just want to be clear about that. So.
Yeah. Colin would.
Yep.
Donuts.
Colin's actually sitting in front of the place where they park.
Right
now, like as we speak. He's got a lawn chair there.
How many haulers are there now, Chris?
He's waiting for the donuts.
I'd say right around 20 to 25, probably. Yeah.
I think there was 10 or so. Dave said yesterday the first ones were there at 9 o'clock yesterday. So
yeah, we actually had one that came in Saturday. Corsica came in because he broke at Farley, and he called me. He said, "I don't know when I'm going to be back." He said, "But we got to run down to Sonny's, get new motor put in, dyno it, and get it back here." And he didn't figure he'd get here till about Wednesday or Thursday this week, and he rolls in Saturday. I said, "We'll find you a spot."
Yep.
That's fine.
Morgan, they're helping with the new super farm. We don't want to hear it, Morgan, unless you tell us who it is, okay? Because we like to start rumors on the show. Let's see here.
Ghost tractors.
What's that?
Ghost tractors. It's not real till it's
it's called Vapor Farm. At this
Vapor
point.
Farm.
Vapor Farm.
Not
Camping's
Vaporware,
still
Vapor
available.
Farm.
Camping's still available. Call the office to reserve a spot.
Yes.
Terry Benson says people stay at 2 bed and breakfasts in my hometown of Hustler for the pull. The only hustler in the U.S. town. There's only one hustler. Huh.
Town. Yeah.
We're going to have to search that. We're going to have to Google that. Charles, can you Google that for us?
What am I searching for again? Sorry.
The hustler. Is there any other towns named Hustler in any other state other than Wisconsin?
Boy, I don't know. We're going to find out.
The chauffeur ride to and from the campgrounds. Absolutely. Talk about that a little bit. People don't have to walk. They can jump on the wagons and away they go. So.
Yep. We have a shuttle there that runs all day long. So,
yep. There are two hustlers, one in Wisconsin and one in Mississippi.
Oh no.
There you go, Terry Benson. A little fact check there for you, buddy. Has Chris ever met the Skellen brothers? Anybody who's ever been to Tomah has met the Skellen brothers.
Everybody's met the Skellen brothers. Yeah, they make a point to greet me or come and see me every year.
Yeah. Roger Rui says Niobrara, so I don't know, but that doesn't help. Roger, that doesn't help me say it, so I'm gonna keep moving there.
You have to do like a little parentheses and a little dash and like sound it out.
Amanda Stern, if you have small kids, please.
Amen.
Yep.
And if not, patronize one of the vendors. There are no less than 20 vendors who will have them on site. I'm sure of it.
We have everything from barbecue, burritos, gyros, burgers, and more. Have to come check it out.
Wow. And cheese curds.
Oh yeah, best cheese curds in the state or the country here, probably.
Ellsworth has entered the chat.
Those were
well,
they may have something to say about this.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss between Ellsworth and Carr Valley. At least that's what the argument will be. I know who I'll side with, but
you know. Oh, another vote for Super Farm Grand National next year. Here it comes.
Okay, got two of them.
Yep. Bring Brenton Rogers checking in. Jason Skillen says, I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Chris Kellberger says, I'd be there right now if work didn't get in the way. Chris, I think that's a very common theme. That whole real job thing. That really just.
So wouldn't we all?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't we all?
Chris, typically or historically, what class is it that the crowd as a general whole goes bonkers for the most?
Oh wow!
I feel like it's an unlimited mod or semis or diesel supers. Am I on the right track there or no?
You know, the minis have come around again.
Have they?
They used to be in, now they're back around again. The semis usually always hold a crowd at night, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for the night show. And the unlimiteds have always been that way too. It's a toss up. It really is. But what really brings in the crowd is I'm going to say it's the smoker classes, because that's where we started too.
Yeah.
They've got such a big family out there with friends and relatives, and the people still making the attempt to farm yet. So, but there you go. That's really hard to say. You know, you put a 4-wheel drive truck there in a session, and they've got a great following too. So that's where we have the toughest part, is really how do you schedule the classes early in the session or late or at night or during the day. It's just, I think in Tomah, they all have their own crowds, but going back, I'd say the semis, people don't see them all the time, so they really stick for that.
Chris, what was it like back in the day having to run 3 tracks?
We only did that, I think, 1 year. Maybe
There's your answer. It was silly.
it went off good. It's just it was too confusing watching it, you know, for the crowd to keep track of what's going on each track. It's too much. But we have the space to do it, but it just wasn't the right thing to do. So.
Brenton Rogers, 2 years ago, Tomah asked Jason for a Massey Beer Money Pulling Team shirt. Unless I missed it, I'm still waiting on it. They're still at the printers, Brenton. They're back ordered, along with the crankshafts for the V8 Pro Stocks. They're Charles, they're at the mill. Do I say that right?
Yeah, they're on the mill.
They're on the mill. They're on the mill. Cool. Chris, we're gonna let you go here in a few minutes. I know you're busy, but are there any classes that you try to get out and sneak out and watch, or you just literally have no time for 5 sessions?
No, I try to watch a little bit of all of them, just to see the guys. I don't think there's any one class that I'd actually go out. You know, Esden would probably be the one his class, because that's the class we were in, and I've got a sister that's kind of involved with that team, as you know.
Kind of involved.
Kind of, just a little bit.
When your brother-in-law is Esden Lane, Chris, I think it's more than just kinda.
yeah, exactly. So no, that's probably one of my. You know, we started in super stock, so that's a class I usually try to watch the most of, see how those guys are doing yet.
Yep. Ryan, I want you to ask your promoter question, and then we've asked Chris the "What would you drive?" question, but that's still fun because not everybody's seen every one of our Chris Schreier interviews. So
that's true. So, what's the key to making a Tomah? What's the key to the longevity from a sponsorship or from a promotion or an advertising, or what's the thing that keeps everybody coming back?
Well, I would say community support is one thing. You got to get the show put on first. Mm-hmm. But man, reputation of putting on a good show, a quality show, one that the crowd can enjoy. I mean, we've been at this many years, and we've had to perfect things too as we go along. It doesn't come that easy, but pick the right classes that'll draw the crowd initially, and then just grow from there. But you need that community supporting you, because there's a lot of things going on, and then you bring your sponsors in that want to get involved and realize what you can do for them with the crowd that you bring in. Treat the pullers right, and they'll always come back. We were a puller and a promoter, And if you don't treat that puller right, he has no interest in going to your pull, except he's got to, unless he's running points and things like that. So we try to do that the best we can. It's a hospitality on both sides, whether it's in the stands or in the pits. And I hope we're doing a good job. That's all I can say.
All right. So then on the other side of that coin, the easier question for you, I suspect, if you could take anything past or present and go pulling with it for a night and not have to pay for it if you wreck it, what are you taking and where are you pulling it and why?
Oh, man. You know, last time we talked, I'll throw that out, there was a pro stock. But after thinking about that too, we ran smokers and super stock and that. And, you know, if Brett would let me hop in the seat of his tractor, I'd like to at least try that once. As far as where, how about the whole circuit?
Chris, you're taking some liberties here, buddy.
I was going to say, that might be a first that somebody said the whole circuit.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun to hop in one of those and just see what they do and the feeling.
Brandon Simon just checked in. He says it's top notch. He loves Tomah. I mean, when you get big name pullers like that, I mean, that kid was born at Tomah probably, or conceived.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'd have to check. But what's the last year that you actually pulled a vehicle in Tomah? One of your guys's.
Oh, that goes back to probably, well, one of ours would have been 80.
Okay.
Yeah, Dad pulled after that, but he had his own tractor. We had the other one parked by then.
Gotcha.
So.
Colin Burkholt says, any ideas or plans for the 50th coming up? Because this is year 48, right? This year?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, got 2 years. No, there's things we're kicking around, but Colin is really local. So, Colin, if you have some ideas, bring them along. We'll get together and we can add whatever we need to make it spectacular.
Chris, if I was you, I'd probably take Colin's class out, you know, so he could just enjoy all 5 sessions that year.
No, that might not be a bad idea. He could sit
That's
in
a good
stands
idea.
and watch everybody then. Yeah.
That's a good idea. No, actually don't. He looks so pitiful in the stands. I actually have a picture of him that almost broke my camera from Hillsboro last year.
Oh, shoot.
He have his best pouty face on.
Oh, Pouty McPouty face. His dad was even worse.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Colton Bartelt coming in with knowledge. Chris, did you ever pull at the Colby Cheese days in the early 90s with the John Deere 4000 or 4010?
Yes, it was a 4010, and they didn't want me coming back to Colby because I always went back to it with too many trophies. I went up there, well, I don't remember what year it was, 92, 3, I had a 4010. We were pulling blacktop back then. And I don't remember, I think it was 4 classes I entered. I won 3 and broke the sled in the 4th one. So I didn't get to win.
That's why we can't have nice things, Chris.
No, people break.
Stop breaking that.
Yes. They weren't happy with me that night, but it was great night. Great people up that way. A lot of great supporters for pulling up in the area.
WTPA, all that. They do well.
Yeah.
So, man, Colton's going crazy tonight. He has that on VHS. He has a picture with Charlie Behrens at a Packer game. That's awesome. 1994, and he beat the old nasty John. All right. That's some history there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Lynn boys are from up that way then.
Yep.
They
Yep.
A lot of stories of us pulling against them when they were pulling on blacktop too. So no, it was all good people. We had a lot of fun.
Man, Morgan Schulte needs to go to bed, guys. Chris, favorite year and favorite sled from the Tomah days. What would you be? Is there a decade of favorites, or is it all you just love all of it?
Oh, for me, when we were pulling, yeah. I guess the mid 70s through 80, because we won the class championship in 80. Dad got first, I got 4th in the 7,000 pound superstock class. But the sleds back then, you know, Lutke was pretty much a #1 sled back in those days, and then Hager came around along with Bowers. So I think sled wise, if you're talking sleds, Vaughn's bought everything a long ways.
Yep.
When he started building sleds. So
Colton says that was their hometown pull. Nasty John became Wagner's power up. Okay. Knew that. Chris Karlberger wants to know, for Colby Cheese days, did you win a wheel of cheese?
No.
Sounds like you won at least 3 of them.
No, it wasn't a little cheese. Geez, it seems like that was the one though where they had the chopper box that you could win.
Yeah, Meyer, right?
Yeah.
Meyer did that. Yeah, he did.
I had 3 chances to get that chopper box, and I didn't get it. So went to somebody in another class.
Dang it. Dang it, look. I love how we're talking about Tomah. Here we go off on tangents about wheels of cheese.
And Meyer chopper boxes.
Yep.
They used to give away. Myers was Dorchester. Okay, Myers was Dorchester, and they used to give away H&S. Wow.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's round it out. Thursday, 7 o'clock. I know. Is there like a senior night? Then there's a veterans night. Can you talk about all that real quick, Chris?
Yeah. Veterans night is Friday night. We'll talk about that. We have a salute to the veterans. Discount for them for tickets. But we do the ceremony. There's pre-show ceremony. People have to show for that. That's the motorcycle parade. That'll start around 6:15. Get in the stands to watch that. Along with, we have some dignitaries from both bases up here, Fort McCoy and Volkfield, coming in that we'll introduce, along with some representatives from the Legions and VFWs, things like that. But it's a great show. Thursday night, we dropped a little bit. Quick Trip, $5 off your ticket if you have Quick Trip app or receipt from Quick Trip within the last week.
That's an easy one for everybody in the Midwest. So get that one done.
Yep. Stop at Quick Trip on your way there and grab a receipt, and you can get in a little cheaper. And then Saturday afternoon, we have our salute to the FFA at that session.
Awesome.
So, no, the pre-shows are pretty nice. Not much on Thursday night, but Friday and Saturday, you want to be there for them.
So if you could get one attendance number, Chris, that would make you and the team happy there this year in 5 sessions. What would it be, honestly?
All 5 sessions. If we could hit that 50,000 mark.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we're hitting the 60,000s, we were standing room only for 3 sessions.
Yep.
And we had turned people away a few years.
So it was like Friday night every session, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, how long ago was that?
I would say the late 90s into the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've had consistent crowds since then, but it just isn't like that. And I think there's a lot more polls that they can go to now.
Yep.
Than they used to. Bigger polls. They've changed a lot over the years.
Yes.
So, but the competitor numbers have stayed up real well for us over all those years. So this year, I think we're going to see a record number of them maybe again.
People do a lot of crazy stuff to get ready for Tomah with their vehicles. So, cool. Well, Chris, thank you for your time tonight. We know you have a busy week, and I know Doug's coming up tomorrow. We're gonna start doing video stuff, and it's gonna be a great week. Thanks for letting us be part of your event. We'll see you soon.
No, I appreciate you doing this. We hope to see you guys this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
all right,
thanks,
Chris.
Tomah. Bruce, where are you going this weekend, buddy?
One final note on Tomah. For those of you who are already in town or competitors who are in early, any of you who pulled with Mike Linehan or Mike and Ann, as you probably know, we lost Mike fairly recently. I think it was last year. Is that right? Last year, 2 years ago?
That sounds right.
August.
Mike's estate, or Mike and Ann's estate, is crossing the auction block on Thursday. So, and there's some pretty cool pieces of history there, not just from Mike's farm, but from his no-till days. Mike was kind of a pioneer in the no-till industry. And he was also a hell of a constructor. He could build anything. Like his sprayer was made out of a school bus. And I'm not kidding. And he built all sorts of stuff he's got. And there's a couple of really, really nice, kind of cool tractors on that sale. I think there's a 4020 with a turbo on it, with a 466 with a turbo. And I think
a couple nice trucks too.
Oh, those grain trucks are cool.
Bruce, are these on Tractor Zoom, or where are these?
They're on Tractor Zoom. Perry's hosting the sale. Wilkinson, right? Shane.
Well, Wilkinson's got the sale.
Yeah, they're doing the sale, and there's some cool stuff there. So if you want to, and I presume Ann will be there. So if you wanted to go out there and say hello to her, and
did you guys get a new logo?
Yeah, we've done a fairly massive rebrand.
Yeah, I see that.
If you want to go out there and see what Mike did to pay the bills, he had quite an operation from the sounds of it. I never had the opportunity to meet him, but the sale's on Thursday, and I can't remember exactly what time it starts, but all the details are on Tractor Zoom or on Wilkinson's auction page. But this weekend, I am headed to Mound City to the Rumble by the Refuge. Yeah. Chris is trying a few new things. He's got small block mini rods and 5.0 Pros.
Is his pro stock done?
I don't believe so. But
Cody says no.
Stranger things have happened. He's running 4.1s, 85s, I believe.
I got a poster. Hold on. Is this the first mini rod pull for Western Series, Doug?
No,
no, they did Mexico, right?
Mexico.
Yeah. How did Kevin do with the little red hooker against the minis?
They got rained out at Mexico.
Okay. Yeah.
And he had a rough.
I got a flyer right here. Hold on, Ryan.
So, but I talked to Chris tonight, and he says they're sitting pretty. He says the forecast looks good, and I double checked him, and it does. It looks pretty good. Kind of typical Mound City weather. It's going to be warm. Definitely not fat guy approved. So Chris and I will look horrible. Crap! I knew I was wrong. Geezy just texted me. He said he thinks the auction might be Wednesday. Either way, check the website.
Shout out to Geezy, second place in Macville Saturday night.
He made a great pass.
Yeah,
that was an outstanding pass. I don't know where Mike put the pass together to beat him, but because James put a good one down.
It ain't easy being Geezy.
But Chris is doing what Chris typically does. There's a cover band afterwards, and if I know Chris, it'll be a pretty good one. Maybe we can get him liquored up enough to get him on mic and sing, which could be amazing or it could be awful, depending on.
It could be awfully amazing.
It could be all of those things. But they do have camping on site. It is dry, no hookups, no electric, but $20, move in, you're there all weekend. That does not count your admission band as far as I know. So, but if you need hookups and all that kind of good stuff, I think it's 10 miles west. Big Lake still got lots of spots available, he told me. So they're looking forward to a good show. It'll be.
Well, I hope they have good weather, because last year they watched. Did they turn Tomah on the big screen last year?
Yeah, we actually had a blast watching Tomah because the rain it had rained like enough to call the show, like earlier in the day, but the weather was actually kind of nice, and we just sat there drinking beer and watching the show, and because so many competitors were already there. And everybody held their breath when Brandon brought the revs up on the pro, because RJ and part of the crew was already down there, and RJ was nervous, and that was fun to watch.
And then Roos you're Roos. Zolik's doing a live stream, right? Yeah, Rumble by the Refuge live stream. Whatsmoking.net. So.
Yep. And if you've never been, it is a terrific show. Track is good. The competitors are, the competition is terrific. And, it's just like you got kind of your start there. That's where I got my start.
That's my first. I love Wiggle, and him and I go around and round about a lot of stuff, but that was my first pull I ever announced out of Wisconsin. And, a big name pull like that. So, and it's 9 hours from Richmond Center. What's that?
First time I ever stepped on a big track.
So, and I just had to convince him that Tomah's an hour from my house because I always get a lot of text messages from him. So it's all good. No, it's a great event. It's the biggest pull in Northwest Missouri for sure in Northern Missouri. So apps without a doubt, it's a good one. And all the money, they raise money for the Mountain City Firemen and they give back to all the kids, the local high schools for scholarships. And then they would always bring them out on the track. I'm still sure they do that for the scholarships and stuff. So it's pretty neat.
And nobody roasts them anymore since you're not announcing, which is kind of odd. But it is what it is.
Right. It's a gift.
Yeah. It's a gift. And I'm gonna try and find a kid who fell out of the tree. Sullivan asked me to find him, and see if his arms were still attached.
Charles, he had two casts.
Yeah, dude was rocking cast all the way up the arm.
And I grabbed him.
Both arms.
It was funny. Ruth got a picture with him and me, and I'll have to find that. I'll have to go through Facebook. I know we did that.
And his cast was wrapped the color of the corn burner. So we got Jason down there, and he signed the casts, and
it was
and he became kind of a good luck charm for him because I think Jason had a top 5 finish at least one of those nights. But that kid had everybody in the audience falling out of the stands. They were laughing so hard. This kid was the ultimate, wordsmith. This kid will write books, and you will see him on the silver screen someday. I guarantee it. But this kid had probably a 5-minute story about how he fell out of a tree and he broke both arms, and how his mom was so pissed, and how she yelled at his dad because dad, was supposed to have told him not to be out after dark climbing trees. And it was, I still don't know how you kept a straight face. I would have dropped the mic and just started crying laughing.
It was a good time. Where were you last weekend, Ryan?
At home and at a hospital.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. Is your father-in-law, is it getting bad?
Yeah, we're starting to run into some issues, yeah.
Okay.
Dehydration was we got home at about 1:15 last night.
Okay.
So chemo apparently takes a lot out of your system as far as fluids go. And I don't know if they changed something or not, but because he gets chemo midweek and then he gets fluids on Friday. And he did all of those things, but on Saturday and Sunday, his blood pressure was dropping like a rock, and he passed out a couple of times. And the doctor said, get to the ER pronto. And so they fed him full of fluids and sent him home. And when we put him in the car, it was Happy Father's Day. Sorry you had to spend it like this. We didn't want to spend it this way either.
Right.
But he's still plucking away. He's still got some fight left in him.
Good. Speaking of fights, Kristen Stranley's doing better. It was really, really scary a couple weeks ago. John's wife, the Thunder Chicken. No, Chicken on a Chain. Mini Rock.
Chicken on a Chain.
Badger State announcer as well. He's on our Badger State show. It was at 7 on Monday nights, and I was really, 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 really worried. And we got a text message from him tonight that the medicines are working and she's turning the corner on that. So I don't want to. I hate doing all this stuff at the end. We always have a downer time, but we'll keep jamming. Charles, where were you last weekend? Where are you going this weekend?
I was at Blanchard, Michigan, Friday and Saturday night, doubleheader for West Michigan Pullers up there.
Is that the Wampa or whatever?
WMP.
Okay.
WMP. I was announcing with Matt McNald up there. My son was a sled operator. Had a good couple of nights. Safe evenings. No major issues. Smooth sailing. Plowed through whatever. I don't know. 80 hooks in 3.5 hours. Good time.
Nice. Tell them about those 4-1 semis.
Yeah, it had been hot semi in prior years in West Michigan. They finally agreed to go 4.1, and Tim Camps had a new engine in his new Common Rail C15 that he built himself after grenading an engine at Onaway for that Canadian uphill semi race Memorial Day weekend, and with a 401 Charger on his dyno, it makes 2,700 horse and 5,100 pound-feet of torque, and it used all of it against a Class 8 sled. It was impressive.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Cody, I feel like you were out and about in the outlaw land. It looked like a little bit.
Yes, sir. I was. I went out and watched Arlington on Saturday night. Got to see a couple first with Lane Paulson making his debut with Life in the Fast Lane in 4-1s, and got to see a light mod 4-1 compete with Wes Severs too. It was a good night. Beautiful. It didn't rain. Kind of went around us, and coming up, I will also be at Mountain City, and so I looking forward to that. I know there's going to be some exciting stuff down there. So Mountain City.
Well, you may as well name drop it.
Roger Rui might happen to show up on Friday night and make his first pass with his 4-1.
Sweet.
Not Mike. He just he texted me about 10 minutes ago. He said we will be there.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I called him earlier and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing Friday night?" And we had a nice chat. I was like, "You should come to Mountain City." So Roger be down there Friday night, and then he'll Saturday night will be up in Manila, with the Outlaws, and looking forward to see that thing go down the track because it looks really, really mean. So
and this has been a long time coming.
Yeah,
he's had every Murphy's Law thing hit him in the book over the past 2 years, and even as recently as
Saturday.
When were you in Arlington? Saturday.
Yeah. For a hometown hook, that track he says just hates him. I mean, he's been broke every year but one type of thing, and they pulled out a trailer and the steering just went. So yeah. He's ready to make a pass. Let's put it that way. So
Roger, if the 4-1s are on the grandstand side opposite the announcers, run the right line. Okay, so I don't pull against you anymore. So that's where Gaffney won it. The drive in my tractor in 17. So
I remember that pass. Holy crap!
And stay away from the right line in Manila.
Yes. I still think about that. So. Before Doug and I talk about our weekend, I have an announcement to make, and I'm going to put it on the screen. Bruce knows about this because it's his picture. We have an official beer that's rolling out in Canada, and there it is. That is going to be the can. So I'm really, really, really excited about this. It's only going to be in Canada right now. Go to Full Pull Lager. They have a Facebook page, and really, really excited. So everybody knows we're building diesel super stock, and what's going to happen with that Remedy tractor. Tony McDonald, who has wrenched on my tractor since 2017, is staying in the Beer Money family. He bought the rolling chassis from me. We're keeping it identical. So it's still going to be the Beer Money tractor, the Remedy. But Tony and his family are going to own it and campaign it. I don't know if it's going to get out this year or not. My engine was completely destroyed after Wisner. And when I say completely, I mean everything. And that's like kind of what led to
block crumbled.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
Say that again, Doug.
The block crumbled when it came out of the frame.
Charles, did you hear that?
I did.
That made me cry.
Need the wheelbarrow.
Yep, need the wheelbarrow. So Tony and I've been, when Tony told me that, and Roos knows how much I love diesel supers. I grew up with them, and Tony's getting a lot of crap why I'd want a diesel super, and Tony's just like, listen, he grew up around them, and his dad had one, and it's just so Doug Meisinger, we're supposed to have a chassis this winter, and then based upon the fundage, which is money, it depends how fast the rest of it will be done, but we are going diesel super. But the Remedy, as you see on the screen, will look just like it is. Tony's a lot better driver than me, so he'll probably have a little bit more luck. We know that's a good chassis, and it's a good piece, and he's excited to get it. His daughter's 16, so I know there's some chatter about that as well. But really excited that the tractor's, he's the only person I'll let it stay the Remedy like it is, because of he's one of my best friends and has done a lot for me over the years, and excited to keep it. Doug and I love this tractor a lot. We love the looks of it. It's sharp, as you can see in this picture. and we hate seeing it go, but it's just time, and we want to do something else, and we really want to grow the diesel super stock class between the NTPA and the Outlaws, and having Doug Meisinger build it and haul it around and work on it for us. I don't know of a better person that could do that for us and take care of it, and he's going to drive it a lot too, because I want to see it do well, and just really, really excited for that. So excited about full pull logger. We have a lot of Canadian fans up there that follow the Beer Money Pulling team and love truck and tractor pulling in general. So I'm super excited for that. So Roos, thank you for the picture. It's beautiful. And yeah, I'm just pretty jacked about that. And I'm really excited that Tony, we finalized our agreement on Thursday. And so we wanted to announce it. I was going to make a big post this weekend, but there's still a lot of people watching the show. So I thought, what the heck, we'll roll it out now. Full pull.
Do we know if that label is final?
It is.
Like, is it in production?
Yeah.
Jason's got a picture of the can.
What happened?
Rats. Huh?
What happened?
Oh, I was just going to make a helpful suggestion of an edit. Maybe move the Craft logo that's down on the bottom right-hand corner. Maybe reposition that. Maybe a little bit to the left over a black banner that just because.
Yeah, on the can, I'll get you a picture of the can and it'll make sense when you see it on the can. Does that make sense?
No, I was just.
I know
it was more. It was more the inside joke for the rest of you because that banner is a joke.
Well, the guy that owns it's a joke. But,
yeah. And if you want to go figure out who it is, you can go back and look at 2022 photos.
Yeah.
Don't waste too much time.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
Loser.
Yeah, I thought about it. It's blurred out enough, Ryan, and it looked good on the can, so it's all good.
No, I know, and I knew that going into it. I knew that when I handed over the photo.
So, Tony Kozar stumbled upon this. Glad to see Sidetracked is still going. I don't know if we can claim this as Sidetracked. I don't think we're that crazy, are we, Charles? Or
geez, no, Kozar, where have you?
I wouldn't lay claim to that, but
no, didn't he announce? He announced out in Chambersburg, right? The indoor thing.
Yeah, Keystone. Yep.
Yeah, Keystone. Yeah.
Come on, Kozar. You knew this was up and running.
Well, we do it. It's on Charles's page every Monday night, so I think that's what's. But the show would not be what it is without Charles. And then so Full Pull Bets is rebranding as Full Pull. The soft launch is going to be at Tomah. You're not going to see much on it on social media and into the Full Pull stuff. You're going to see a lot of it on Beer Money. Doug and I, well, you guys have all seen the app. You saw it this weekend. Doug, you picked 3 winners Saturday night.
Yep.
So they just want to roll it out, guys, at Tomah. There's just going to be a bunch of parlays, like free, like when FanDuel's rolled out, guys. Like, what did he say? Is it if you pick the 6 winners, you can win like $5,000? What did he say, Doug?
Yep.
So there's going to be a trailer up there, the Full Pull Bets trailer. It's going to be with Full Pull. I keep saying Full Pull Bets, the Full Pull trailer. The app, they really changed their mindset on it. The app is going to be very not just for the wagering part of it. It's going to be for all of pulling. Dan Myers, like the puller history, it's going to be an encyclopedia for apps for all the pulling associations. Basically, it's pretty slick. And I think it's getting released.
Becomes available Wednesday.
Yes,
and that's knowledgeable. So you can buy or download the app on Wednesday.
Yep. So Mike Hathaway is the one doing it. He said production starts the last week of June, Ryan. So on the cans. So on that for the Full Pull logger. But anyway, for those of you going to Tomah, pay attention. Stop by the Full Pull trailer. There's going to be like college game day type interviews before each session. I'm going to be helping Friday when I'm around. Saturday, I'm going to be in Manila, Iowa on the microphone. Thursday, I'm going to be at St. Louis at USA Mortgage doing my real job. Doug, tell them about our weekend.
We had an interesting weekend. Get to the office today to find out that my sound is terrible on my video. So that was my low light of the weekend. But we were in Hutch. Awesome show Friday night. I would hardly say there was a place to sit. They had that big grandstand and 9 portable bleachers were full, plus people standing all over. little bit of excitement. Like Jason said, Roger Peterson had a fire. Julia Ray ate a valve, took a turbo, took a motor.
Ouch.
3 hours, Charles. They had it replaced Saturday. 3 hours.
I know he's got spare motors, but that still hurts.
It was awesome.
And Nikki's Nightmare had an oil leak at the starting line, and it was smoking. And by the time he got to 320 feet, there was a 20-foot-ball fire come out of the front of the truck.
It was wow. They said it took 3 hours to clean all the oil off the truck on Saturday.
Oof.
Unfortunately, it happened again on Saturday night.
It was
really.
Yep.
It was wild.
How many semis were there?
6.
6 to start with.
And then we lost Islands Saturday night. They broke Friday night. They won Friday night, but they broke something. Pat did. So
Colin Ross did a Colin Ross.
That thing is stupid. That thing is stupid.
I think he's announced his intentions for the year.
So
I think Saturday night was 389 or something.
394.
Jeez.
He backed out of it. Literally, he just pulled back and let her roll.
Now, when you talk to Colin, and he texted me today, I texted him some video. He did have early hooks in both classes, and we do know the Hutch track is better than it was last year, but it's not a power track by any stretch of the imagination. That Fairboard brought in some black dirt in the last 10 years, mixed it for their motocross track. It got mixed into the good clay. So Ricky and all of them have been beating their heads against the wall to try to do that. But that's why if you see the pro stock distances, just go back and back and back. The rest of the early hooks were advantage. So Friday night, who went out first? Kent Payne drove Mike Beck's tractor.
Yep.
And then Travis went, had a good pass, and then the sled broke. So then the red sled left the chat for the whole night, and the brand new one, something with one of the things, but it'll be at Tomah because Doug talked to Bowers and all them, and so then we ran the rest of the show with the one sled, and then when they reset, he came back out. Colin just freaking 370 something out there. That thing, I stood at 100 foot on Saturday night, Charles, and it sounds like a goddamn dragster. It's insane. It is freaking insane. So but you know, Travis, the wick got turned back up in Ringo, Iowa. I guarantee it heading to Tomah. So yeah.
Travis, it looked based on the numbers for Saturday like he was spinning the screw out a little more.
Yeah. Travis got caught then in a second pass, got sucked left, and we've interviewed modified pullers guys and diesel super pullers. They've said no matter how hard they pound on a brake, once one of those 30.5s are hooked in, they're hooked in. And it got him off to the left, and you saw his front end was all bowed out. I love Tyler Slaw's comment. My favorite part was letting him out at 394, and they're like, nah, no need to reset the sled. That was kind of heated, that discussion between Colin and the tech official. And
he put 40 feet on him Friday night. Yeah, and then that happened again.
With only 6 of them, that's so hard, guys. I mean, what do you do? I mean, I get it. No, I do not ever want to have to make those kinds of decisions, ever. I don't want to be Marvin or Harold Phipps or any of those guys because that is not fun at all. So. But it was a fun weekend. That was a great show to see all that big stuff all in one place at one time, and to see the big crowd, and to see Julie.
Friday night, Islands put a big pass down in the semi class, and then Lonnie Saylor said enough's enough and did about a 380 pass on Saturday night. So
good for him. He was pretty frustrated with himself on as he was leaving Pullers Championship. So,
no, that's Colton Lonnie, his dad.
Oh, my fault.
The 63.
Yes, you're right.
He's got that cool 63 with the door
needle
pulled
nose.
up.
Needle nose, yeah.
So congrats to Peter Norton.
Yeah.
Taking the monkey and throwing it firmly off of his back.
Firmly, very firm. Very firm.
That thing doesn't even sound like a pro stock either. There wasn't
no, it sounds it sounds awful angry, doesn't it?
Yep.
It does.
At first, I thought maybe he needed a new water valve, a new Simpson valve, because man, that thing just did not want to clear up when he made his passes in Farley, and then good things happened again this weekend. So Here's to you, buddy.
He was very, very happy.
As he should be. And by the way, happy birthday to his lovely wife, Christine.
Here's Collins Pass Saturday night. Just listen to this thing.
Now, the winner of each class, folks, we're going to bring down here in the grass in front of the announcer stand, and Jason's going to talk to them. So you can see what they look like without a helmet on.
That was 394, guys. It was dumb. It was picture perfect. Just picture perfect. It was awesome.
It was like
Travis Schlabach was next to me when he went by. He said 100 foot. He just looked at me and went, "Oh my God!" And he knew what he had to go do.
He was hauling for sure.
Just awesome pass. Awesome pass.
Hey, Colin, can you be my mailman? Because they don't get my mail very often.
And his brother-in-law wanted.
I'd be interested in knowing what his wheel speed or what his ground speed was.
Yeah.
All of it.
1-800 Chaos Fabrication. You write a check big enough, you can find out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, he won both nights. Eric Stacy, his brother-in-law, won both nights. When I interviewed Colin, I said to Lily, I got Lily in there. I'm like, hey, what's one thing you've done that your brother hasn't done? She says, I got to drive a diesel superstock truck. And then I looked at Colin. He just had that shit-eating grin, like, really, Schultz? You got to drill that right now. I just won the Grand National Pole. So it was fun.
Friday night was cool. The guy that bought Adam Bauer's tractor, first run out, a Grand National win.
Troy Arndt,
good for
back
him.
in black diesel superstock puller. I didn't put it together until I was reading the results, and I went down like, "You're Troy." He's like, "Yeah, Jason." I'm like, "I know, but you went from diesel super to mini. First time ever driving a mini. He wins Grand National Friday night, but he bought Bauer's. So I mean, he's not dumb. So he bought a good mini. So
well, I mean, Jimmy Shandorf went from diesel super to mini too, but
yeah,
he probably didn't. I don't think he won his first time out. Troy, if I were you, I would hang it up and just call it an undefeated career.
He got third on Saturday night. So
well, already shot himself in the foot.
Yep, he's a loser. I see Jeff Hurt tried to blow the hood off the running bear again. No, he did blow the hood off.
I think he was very successful in that.
Yeah, I saw his Facebook post looking for hoods actually. So I know that's legit. So
shout out to Jonah Hill for a pretty good capture there.
Yeah. And Ryan had it on Zolik had it on the Flow Racing video that he did for them. We shared it on the Badger State show. So good stuff. I'm trying to think what else. Tommy Owens won Saturday night. Brandon Simon won Friday night. When I interviewed Brandon, I said, I always feel bad for your mod when you don't win the Pro Stock class. Because I said, I think it probably gets twisted a little bit harder with 4 engines. And he goes, oh, yeah, no, I was mad. I got after it. So it was funny. And RJ was texting me. So it was kind of fun to see that. But then Brett Meyer, owns Lincoln Diesel Specialties, had the 3.6 diesel trucks and 3.0 diesel trucks. Does he have one of the coal burners or the coal rollers or one of what's his name?
He has injected funds, which was the old Green with Envy.
Oh,
Denny Brown's.
I think that's in Canada now, and I think that's in New Brunswick, and I think he's got one of the. Which one has the 5-star? Charles, if I showed you a picture, would you be able to tell by the front wheels?
Maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
Renee Theobald got her mini win.
How'd the boys do?
They had a little rough ride on Saturday night. I can't remember what they did on Friday night.
Yeah, Grant was mad. He didn't even want to come up to the announcer stand. I talked to him. I said, dude, you're going to be okay, buddy.
Did he run the 2-wheeler or did he run the mini?
Mini.
Mason's going to run the 2-wheeler, and Grant runs the mini. He got Rookie of the Year last year in NTPA. So. Kesters are getting a 4th mod. Is that what Coral said? Or mini? Did she say that Saturday?
I don't know. Either that or a new pen for the check.
That's right. That's what it was. Charles, I don't know. Here's a picture I took from the side shield. Old Loud and Loaded, which is the old Green Streak. Okay, that's Schulte would know. Those kids are like little Rain Mans. Injected Funds now is the old Loud and Loaded. Okay, but that came from Boyd's. That was Mike Boyd's, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got his win, his first Grand National win, Friday night, and he did a good job. So this one. So Keith Witt's American Pride. If you guys get a chance, Charles, if you ever see this, or Roos or Cody, his dad and his brother in their military uniforms are silhouetted into the hoods of this truck.
Oh, I haven't seen it since the wrap got put on it.
No, yeah. I haven't either.
At TPC, it wasn't. It hadn't been done yet. Remember, it was just gray.
No, it was like primer gray.
Primer.
So. So we got Doug and I sat down with Les Corporal, got an interview with him. I hope was the sound screwed up for that too, Doug?
Some.
That was really interesting, Charles. I thought of you the whole time.
Oh, I'm sure that he was a bunch of nerding going on. Yeah.
Yes.
He's related to the Banners.
I had no idea. That's where Modern Machine came from.
Yep.
Modern Motorsports or whatever he calls it. It was all in the interview. So.
Yeah, I spent a little time hanging out in their pit area at the Enderley last fall, and it was I just sat there and listened.
It's the old Green Line Express. Look at the lineage of that. So it went from was it Borson, right? Or Boyson?
Yeah,
yes.
Well, I think it was Boyd Borson back to Boyd, then Simon, then Meyer.
Do you think those John Deere Pro Stock guys get together at Christmas and just put names of tractors and hats and just say who's taking what out this season?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
which Green Line?
Colin,
whatever one's not still in a shed in West Michigan.
Oh, and there it is.
I'm not even going to say anything, so it's all good.
Plausible deniability.
So this is Trav's pass on Friday night. Charles is correct. Terry Benson said so. Trav got sucked off to the left. We have video of it, and just he couldn't bring it back. He let out of it, and it was under a full head of steam. And you see what happens here. So there's a crowd Friday night. That's CJ. What did he say? Was that a gasket, or what did he say, Charles or Doug?
I don't remember.
I talked to Chase. There's Roger Peterson's tractor, guys. That just sucks. That thing. He had such bad luck at Hutch. Clint Mittens.
I don't think Rock Valley liked him, or he didn't. I don't think he liked Rock Valley last year either.
Didn't he hurt it at Rockwell too, Ryan?
No, maybe
he won it. He won Rockwell.
Maybe.
I think so. So everybody's like, "Oh, Mettings are mad at the Outlaws." No, Mettings are pulling into class the Outlaws don't have now, and I've had to explain that to like 1,000 people.
Yeah,
they left the Louisville setup on. People get. Not bored, but they want to see some different stuff, and they're going to go out and try it. Lance drove the tractor Saturday night. Lance Little.
Yeah, that was a little weird to see.
Yep. But he was late in the class, and there just was nothing left, guys. Charles has seen it a million times, and you have too.
They got third on Friday night and only got beat by like 0.049 or something.
Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah.
It was tight. But the old bulletproof buck looks good. And then here, flip through some of these photos here. That's a sled that showed up. Arnold's is a title sponsor. This is a cool shot from the starting line. They have a big grandstand on the right over here. So there's Renee. There's Peter. So just a beautiful tractor, guys. Clean as clean can be. There's Eric Stacy's win. Tommy Owens. Got to interview his mom. That was fun. There's the Pete. That's Lonnie Sailors.
Yeah.
63.
Needle nose Pete.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool. And then there's Mr. Colin. Oh, that thing is stupid. Stupid cool. Stupid cool. So
was Colin happy?
Very. He literally was teared up Friday night when I interviewed him, because you guys think about it. He went to Louisville, everybody's favorite to win. hurt it bad, right? Didn't it dump everything on the ground?
Just blew the pan off of it, but who knows what happened?
Just blew the pan off. And then he went to the truck show, right?
Yeah.
And it hurt it. He didn't get off the line. So, but no, he was seriously just. I mean, he's like, we've been on the dyno, we've been trying stuff, and he was thanking Kevin, and he's Lindsay, and he made fun of Lindsay. She's probably still in the cast back at home, sitting in bed, and something like that. That was funny when Colin said that. So, but she's not. It's a joke. Everybody relax.
Did he say anything about Lindsay's dad?
No. Is this a good story?
Sorry, Charles. I had to do it.
That's all right.
I'll only do it this once, but I had to do it.
Sometimes, once in a while, an announcer's mouth disconnects from his brain, and it happened to me at TPP.
And Lindsay will never let you forget it either.
No, she won't.
Charles, you have to tell the story.
I referred to Kevin as her dad at one point. I don't even know why I said it, but I did.
Oh, we've all done stupid stuff like that, Charles.
Yeah. That's all right. I'll own it. It was brain fart moment.
That's funny, though. I like it. That's super funny. So
it's a connection you have with Lindsay that nobody else has.
Yeah.
Aww. Wyatt Schulte says Peterson won Rockwell in 2021. I know he did because he runs Taylor Van Beek's tires, and Taylor was pumped because I saw him the next day. He's like, Peter, my tires won Rockwell. So that was cool.
Yeah, but Wyatt in 2022, it was fiery. Doug and I stood there watching it, mouths open like this.
Yes, it was. Because they got it at Tomah too last year. I've got video of that.
Well, no, was it doing the same basic thing, like just slobbering oil all over the place? And
I'm not sure what it's. But then the header wrap gets soaked with oil, and then they can't put it out.
Yep. It's rough. See what you got to look forward to, Jason?
That's
build a super stock, they said.
Everybody
keeps fun, they said.
Well, poor Asden, they spun a bearing at Ellsworth and didn't have a crank. That crank came, I think, on Thursday, they said, but they pulled the motor out of the light tractor to go to Hutch, and the pump stuck on it.
Ugh.
Chewed the clutch up trying to get it to light, and then when it did light, it stuck.
Yep.
And the filter was full of metal again, so but they got her back together.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Charles, Ryan, and Cody, I got this picture, and I literally thought of you guys. I'm pretty proud of this one.
I don't know if I should be nervous or concerned or.
Cody, come on. We've been through a lot, buddy.
Oh, my God. It's wait.
Huh, Charles?
Mr. Brewster doing the thing.
Isn't that cool? With his embroidered shirt, the tractor. I was kind of proud of myself.
Can't.
I was going to say, a lot of people don't really embroider stuff anymore.
That's old school.
I'm glad to see it's still like a thing.
Yeah,
that's old school. Mick Broughton saw that, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty legit right there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Degenhart's took what'd they take off the balancer off the front of the trucks or tractor Friday night. And guess they went to Esden's and got one, put it on for Saturday. So
I'll tell you what, there ain't no quitting those guys.
No.
I mean, we've seen them light that tractor on fire and try and blow it up on multiple occasions. Always back the next week, and they make a good pass. That's dedication.
I think Rose just chewed a couple motors up Friday night on the second pass after they reset. They reset the sled, or did they?
No, Jeff went 339, turned it down, and then they came back at the end, and then it was hot. Like they pulled it on the track, started it, Charles, and then as soon as he was off the throttle, I think he was turning it off before he even was out of the throttle. And then Ricky's like, rah, 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 and then next thing we know, they come rolling back in Saturday afternoon with some new parts on it. So,
Jason, I like that one because of the reflection of the weight bracket.
Oh, yeah. Shut up.
Why do you got to be like that, Cody?
No, I legit
No, this has nothing to do with you.
I've been on Ryan for 2 years to get a reflection shot, and here Jason comes in with a reflection shot.
Off the fuel tank or the water tank?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's an iPhone there. It's pretty fancy, guys. I pushed a little button, So I just went through the pits and got as much stuff as I could to let everybody know there was some pretty cool stuff there. There's Doug Borch. We staged this photo. Him actually working on the bull wagon pro stock of Mettings.
No, yeah, bull. You're right, bull wagon.
Good for you for finding the 0.5 lens. It will serve you well.
I'm sure Cody took my phone from me and set it up for me. I'm almost positive of that. So.
No, it's actually a dot that comes stock on the phone.
No, but I think he did it for me. He told me about it. So.
I just have a deal of like pushing people past their limits, There's a reason I've given Charles and Ryan and everybody else that's interested in it, kind of pushing them outside their comfort zone.
Yes, Cody hears the sound of one hand clapping.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, it makes it fun. Like there's some.
You just wait. You just wait. We're gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna give you a challenge.
I was proud of
there's
this
another
one.
reflection shot.
No, I purposely did this one. No, I think of you, my photographer buddies, because I want someday Charles to make a post about my photography like he does Allie. I just want like Jason Schultz, legendary. How would Charles do this? It would be good.
All I'm gonna say is you better do some work because right now you're getting your ass kicked by a girl.
And spoiler alert, you always will because Charles is not your daddy.
It would be weird if he was.
This is where somebody needs to chime in. Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? So yeah, good to see Hodem back out. Fully loaded light super. A first and a third, right? Up there in Macville.
Somebody said that is the same as HD, so it should be pretty mean.
Good deal. Okay, Charles, I want to go to bed, but what's your biggest? We're June 19th. What's your biggest like so far in this young season? Anything jumped out at you, or is it still pretty? You're just kind of keeping your eyes because you're our thinker guy.
I've been impressed with the crowds everywhere I've gone. Doesn't matter the size of the show, numbers are up. Really been impressed that people are turning out.
I've been here. I hope it stays because it's good for the sport, guys.
Yep. And that doesn't just apply to the pulling side. It's the drag races have been that way too.
Okay, good. Good. Anybody else got anything? Bruce, Cody, Dougie?
Mark Ulmer put Eleanor in the booth with the girls again at Arlington.
I saw that.
And awesome. And in other news, water is wet.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, pretty much.
I just feel bad for everybody else in that class.
Yes, 1,000%. The day that somebody figures out how to beat them, how to beat the weapon or Eleanor, either one, whichever one Mark's feeling on that particular day. Oh dear Lord, you captured lightning in a bottle. You better start selling it.
Yeah, and
all I got to say.
Enjoy it because he's going back to the lab. I guarantee it.
And he'll start turning. Yeah, he'll find his 10mm sockets, and he will whoop your ass the next week.
Well, last year was Manila. No, 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
No, that was 2 years. Easy, maybe 3.
It was 2.
2 years ago.
Was it?
Yep, it was 21.
Yep. And so he because it was no, Ryan's right. It was 3 years ago. It was 3 years.
It was because it was one of the biggest crowds that I had seen during COVID.
Yep.
To that point.
And that's when they shoved all the dirt off, and I never thought I'd have to shoot over a dirt pile. But that was the year they shoved all the dirt off, and we had to shoot through that, and it was like you know, they took the dozer blade and rocked it all the way sideways, and then like V-rip channels in there to get dry dirt, and probably one of the only like tracks that would actually agree to do that. But yeah, no, he put it in the booth of the girls, as Dan would say.
That was the pull that there was no rain on the radar, but it just kept raining, right? Just enough to mess everything up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the crowd said, F you, we're not going anywhere. We need another beer. And they stayed, and they drank the beer truck dry.
Yep.
And they just about drank the backup beer truck dry because there was a backup.
I like it.
And you
folks, if you're in central Iowa and you're not able to, you know, and you're looking for a pull that's an hour and a half away, go to Manila.
Yeah, Manila, Iowa, Saturday.
That show does not disappoint. It's a terrific show. The track is stupid good. The turnout is always good.
Not the right side. Not the right side.
Well, yes, there's that. But they do a killer job, and that also is another one of those shows that funds a fire department, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
So I mean, there's a few fire departments in the state of Iowa that always, despite their size, they have just the absolute state of the art equipment, even though, you know, they're out in the middle of nowhere and they're not necessarily, you know, completely funded by tax dollars. This is how they do it. Like this, you know, I mean, what they do makes a real, you know, life-saving impact.
Well, it's 11:30 at Charles's house. He's got a real job to go do tomorrow. I'm going to play the Mackville Nationals winner video, and then I'm going to turn it off. So thank you guys.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Hey, polling organizations, and I'm only going to say this once. We're not going to get into a conversation about it. There are times where you need to prioritize the safety of your competitors and attendees over the show.
Yeah.
Take that to heart if you need to.
Well, we're going to talk about that another night. But great show, guys.
Yeah, we can.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody. Take care.
Later.
See ya.
And the throttle, let her sting, let her rip. For Corey Funk. Test Fuller in the Pro Stock Diesel Truck category. How about this mark for first one out? 3. How about that John Deere fans backfill? Put it together. Oh, the veteran of the class rides the clutch out, dumps it, and sets sail. Well, there's a good look on the full racing board of Don Tomah, and there is the whole shot. Nice and smooth, nice and Super farm side, trip down the small girl, 318 and 1 318. Blue fans, you got a smile on your face. The fast forward, Chamberburg, Pennsylvania's Matt Smith. Where are my Aaron Hall fans here tonight? How is my old school taking care of business folks in the crowd here this evening? Stand up and be counted. How about that pass right there? Put your hands together, folks. Boy, what a run, Aaron Hall. Laying down the power of taking care of business. And that tractor has been headed to the outbound fire. Talk break here tonight. Another down is fired back up. Here we go. Yeah, go ahead. Let me find out track time. How about that, man? Back the leader called Safety Buxton. Here is your Wentworth, Maple Park, Illinois. Go White Sox. That develops a different exhaust note towards the end of the run. Yeah. Boy. Problem in the piston area, I think, right there. Problem in the piston area. Yeah, the Relentless is one of the last few that still run a 7.3. Yeah. The old power stroke. Yeah, if you were lucky enough. Raising the roof on Saturday night, hot and nasty. Look at the replay there as he is cruising on. Come back to the track, up to the tower. This is Mike Gerlach, Stockton, Illinois, the G-Force, and 66 International. Oh my, can he do it? Can he do it? And thank you to the folks at ProRacing.com once again. They're getting exclusive coverage from the Pro Pulling League Winners Circle on ProRacing.com. Hey, this little people out here tonight, help me out, make some noise! The flash of the camera sends us out past the 300-foot mark, and if you are sitting down at the grandstand side at that big end, wow, what a view. You can see it on the full racing. This competitor right here, helmet of the night for Travis Hilton, Bellevue, Ohio, always something, 1466. Red fans once again stand up, be loud. My, oh my, what a picture perfect pass. Hopefully that you had your Snapchat ready for that one. It was wheels up and set sail. Always something. Here we go. Jeff Hurt, Northwest Ohio, little running there. Get up, get out of here. Backfield Nationals. He is on the big end. Nationals, we do it. How about an oh shoot? My oh my. Or Nicole to the running bear. Take a look at the replay right there. It went right there. And boy, I don't know if the folks can run that back for us. The full racing one more time, but right there on the replay at the end, it was all on the line. Punish it. The tractor, a lot of boosts, 4 up to 4 turbochargers and 3 pressure stages, and you kind of felt that one. Common Motors, huge Q&A coming your way. Chevrolet fans, what do you think of there? Put your hands together. The Thompson, Missouri-based Terry Hagedorn, our first one to make a big rip of the Summit Racing Equipment Modified Truck class. It has safety pointed out. Send them home with the goods right there, fans. What do you say?
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching our shows every Monday night, Tuesday night. So Monday nights, 7 o'clock, we do Badger State Tractor Pullers Down and Dirty. 8 o'clock is always Let's Grow Pulling. Tuesday nights, Outlawed with Ron Stone at 7 o'clock. Every other Wednesday, we do the West Coast Live Show at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. And then we always have live with Lucetto talking everything with the Heartland division of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers on Wednesday nights. So hope to see some of you out this weekend. Again, I'm going to be in Tomah on all day Friday at the Full Pull Vets trailer. Full pull, excuse me. And then Saturday, I'll be in Manila, Iowa. I'll be on the microphone helping with Outlaw Pulling TV as well. Mackenzie and Kaya are heading down to White Wright, Texas with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. So thanks to all of you that love the sport. We love you. Have a great night.